And welcome back, everyone. Welcome to day number 2 of World Team League 2022 Winter Grand Finals. We apologize for joining a little bit late. We weren't expecting to start this early, but you know what? We came in just as soon as the games are about to start. We are going to be kicking things off with KaiZi Gaming going up against Shopify Rebellion.
Versus Shopify Rebellion. Game 1. Let's get the show on the road.
Yeah. Mate, we just got abducted straight onto the World Team League spaceship. They took us away and they said, you have to cast for us, puppies. And cast we will, because here in the top right-hand corner of the map, it is our IM champion for KaiZi Gaming, Oliveira.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ancient Sister, and we have, representing Shopify Rebellion, ByuN.
Really paranoid about my water now, because yesterday I took a big sip and I wasn't looking at it, and there was a fly in there.
Oh. Wait,
Nasty.
in the sip or in the water?
Yes.
Oh, God. Yeah, it's been getting really hot here in the land of Australia, and for good reason. Things are heating up because, mate, Oliveira, he is coming out swinging. Oh, ByuN's, it's over. Look at, mate,
He's
you
bored.
see that? he
There's
knows.
that continuum of, challenge to ease. I think that's the word. No, what's the graph? There's like a graph where it's like on one axis it's how hard it is, and on the other axis it's something else. Basically, there's like the magic zone in the middle where it's like challenging enough to keep you interested, but not so challenging that you're bored. Oliveira's just too challenging for him. He's just bored.
He's too hard.
That made sense in my head, like when I started. We didn't quite get there. It's all right. We're still waking up.
I'm with you, puppy. I'm with you. It's okay. ByuN's still waking up as well. Oh my God. But I'm really it's really exciting to see that Oliveira is coming out first here, as opposed to yesterday where he was kind of being saved for later. There's kind of like the storyline here that we've been trying to follow is KaiZi Gaming and their road to the finals. Can they do it? They've got some faith here in Oliveira, and we get a cheeky TVT to kick things off.
You reckon Oliveira's moved from that computer all day? Or has just been there since last night?
They don't let him leave. He can't leave.
Here's your pillow. Don't move.
Yeah. He is chained to the desk. We just don't see it because it's like under the desk, Yeah. Yeah. No pants.
Well, already starting things off, we have a little bit of a difference in the builds between the two players. So Oliveira with a much later natural, as he's gone for the standard double gas build. ByuN, on the other hand, going for a fast expand, something that's becoming a little bit more common in the current meta, just because Proxy 2-Racks with the worker change is not quite as effective, and also the maps are quite big. So this is something that is coming back into the meta, and it's important as the double gas player that you have a way to punish it. The most standard traditional way to punish it is to go for a tank drop, and it looks like that's exactly what Oliveira is doing.
Yeah, there we go. Kind of stock standard dynamic between these two different openers. We'll see if ByuN is going to be able to defend against this. He's going to Cyclone on the way as well to help out with that extra DPS. We'll see kind of what angle Oliveira decides to go in and if he can find that damage.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to come down to the micro when it comes to the tank with the Cyclone. You should also have a Raven out for a turret as well. So you kind of have this dance with the tank player where you're trying to bait out the turret, but without having your tank sieged at the time. And it's pretty interesting, but the idea is just to, keep some pressure on, maybe start to snowball things, get your own third up before they can get their third up.
Yeah, and it's a dangerous prospect, especially if ByuN just woke up, you know? Like is he ready to go toe to toe with the champion, with Oliveira himself? We are about to find out as that medevac is making its way across the map. Ooh, the Cyclone heavily
Ooh.
out of position, anticipating it, the drop to be coming from the right-hand side, but thankfully ByuN is pulling it back a little bit. Oh no.
That is very cheeky by ByuN, trying to get a little bit of a almost a free win there, but instead we're going to have Oliveira sieging up over here. The Cyclone lock-on has been expended. This tank, though, in a little bit of an awkward position. It does trade out for the Cyclone. That's not bad. We save the medevac. We trade out for the Cyclone. Not the worst result. Not the best either.
Yeah, obviously a little bit extra gas going down the drain here for Oliveira, but he was able to get some worker kills. 6 SCVs went down
Ooh.
in that little trade, and just like that, Oliveira takes a bit of a lead.
Yeah, there we go. So we're back in the SCV lead, despite normally being a little bit behind when we're going for that fast CC. And with the map control as well, this is, a really important thing to do as that double gas player. You have that map control, you can take that third on location, and suddenly Oliveira is the one that's looking better economically.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, Oliveira, he is not stopping. Maybe he should, as he's threatening another drop here into the main base. But really, again, he's just threatening. He's just trying to force a reaction out of ByuN. He will pull back. He will not commit. And yeah, it goes to show that again, because ByuN was out of position with his Cyclone earlier, he had to pull the boys into Hellions of all things, and it just really wasn't what it really worked out well in the end for Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, we noted it yesterday. Oliveira in his TVZ was just brimming with confidence, and it feels like the same thing in the TVT. Nice little scout by ByuN, does catch out that third on location, so very intelligent play coming out from him, and he's going to pick up a few worker kills for that as well.
Yeah, 2 SCVs are going to be going down. The third CC is going to be delayed as a result as well. Eventually, this will be swatted away, but whatever damage he can get done. Oh my god, he picks up the SCV again!
Wow, yeah, that's a heavy delay on that third CC, so pretty much equalizing those CC timings, and this feels like very evenly balanced matchup between these two players. I think ByuN might even be slightly ahead just because he got his Raxes faster.
Yeah, he got his Raxes a little bit faster. His CC is further along as well. Of course, you know, these are little advantages here and there, and they things may still end up swaying in the other direction here, especially in a TVT. But for the time being, you know, ByuN, he's gonna have that extra breathing room, and he's actually going cross map with his Ravens to harass.
Yeah, I don't mind this. There's not really any opening to go for his own tank push here, but it is going to make it difficult to break this position at the third.
Exactly. So we're gonna have some lost mining time here at the natural base. We're gonna have some lost workers as well. 3 SCVs already gonna be going down, but ByuN will be contained to 2 bases. Oh,
Yeah, pretty good damage here coming out from ByuN. He's going to cause another pull down here. Probably another few SCVs going down as well. Okay, a little bit unfortunate there. Didn't quite target with the turret there. So only 4 SCVs in total. I guess he was distracted back at home here.
yeah, exactly. I swear there's a lot of workers in the red. Meanwhile, the double disable as well. Oliveira's getting in range of those tanks.
Wow, that's a great tank position there. Takes 2 tanks out. That's huge there, and that's going to make it so difficult for ByuN to take his third here. He's in a lot of trouble. This turret here is going to do some good damage, but it actually starts to shoot the Marines over the SCV, so only 2 going to be going down.
Yeah, exactly. So in the end, Oliveira, his economy is still looking mighty fine, especially because he's the one with a third base up and running. ByuN, the owner, see the pressure is on him to do a little bit more. He's going to go for a bit of a double drop, but we have another disable.
Yeah, the assertiveness out of Oliveira. He is just so strong coming on with this tank push and threatening the natural now. ByuN's going to have to go for a big break. He does have the Marines up to the north and should be going for an SCV pull as he brings those in at the same time, but it's just awkward to come in on these 3 tanks here.
Oh, it really is. And Oliveira does pull back just in time, but it looks like the surround is a little bit too good. He will be losing his tanks, but the damage was already done, and he was already out trading ByuN at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, Oliveira's got his minerals up, fully mining. We can see the resource collection rate there hugely in his favor. I guess there was a little spike there in the red when he was defending the turrets, but yeah, this is a tough spot for ByuN here. He does have a lot more Marines. The build that he went for, he switched instead of going for earlier starport units, he switched that reactor onto the racks to get faster Marines. So he will have a lot more Marines than Oliveira. It's going to come down to tank positioning, and he just lost a bunch of tanks too.
Oh, definitely. Meanwhile, there we go. An anti-armor missile on the Marines here of Oliveira. That means he's not going to be able to protect his tanks anywhere near as well. He's throwing down some auto towers. He's pulling the boys.
Yeah, good pull there. Very well split of all the units, and not going to be taking too much damage as a result of that. 8 SEVs go down, but importantly saves his units. Little shake of the head from ByuN there. He knows he's in a bit of trouble. He needed that to work.
Mate, he's crazy. Who needs combat shields? Combat shields just finished after that fight for Oliveira. It's something that he forgot, and the lovely observer was pointing out. Wouldn't be an Oliveira day without without forgetting combat shields at least once. And now he's going for his counterattack. What do we have to defend here for ByuN? He's got one tank, but only one.
The SEVs look over at those Marines, and they're like, "You're going to use shields for your combat shields, not us, right?" Not us, right?
Feels
You
bad,
are the
man.
combat shields.
And the anti-armor missile's a little bit too good. ByuN forced to
Wow.
expose his own tanks.
Yeah, completely zoned out there. He's going to get a nice drop over here on the third, but you can see he's just so stressed and indecisive from the way that Oliveira is playing. Huge pull coming in here, but his units are a bit clumped, so quite a few SCVs going to be going down, and he hasn't even quite cleaned this up. That was a very expensive cleanup there, but the drop at the third is getting a lot of damage as well.
A surprising amount of damage. Basically, the entire mineral line was picked off by that one drop. So ByuN may have lost quite a lot defending his third, but he was able to reciprocate that damage. And Oliveira, he's now down in the workers.
Yeah, this has been such a back and forth scrappy matchup. I still slightly favor Oliveira in the situation. I think he's just been macroing up a little bit stronger here, and his 2-2 is much further ahead, so he should be able to hit a strong 2-2 timing, but ByuN, he is so powerful in these scrappy games.
Oh boy, he is quite powerful. Here we even have a single Marine doing whatever he can. Oliveira is going for a triple drop of his own though, so he's had enough defending his own bases. He wants to try and turn the tables here, and now he's on top of the production.
Yeah, and Oliveira, ByuN, he is completely out of position. We're going to be taking out a few of these add-ons. A lot of those Marines going down as well. Fantastic micro coming out from Oliveira, and this is going to be an expensive one to clean up.
Yeah, it really is. Everything is forced to come back home as well. ByuN, he is taking his fourth base on location, but, oh god, he does take a lot of damage. And Oliveira, he just drops down towards the third.
Wow, the pickup is so good. And the double Liberators, this is something we've been seeing a lot lately with the cheaper Liberators in TVT. It's a fantastic move. He should be able to snipe out this medevac. The tank is doing a great job to protect him, but 36 SEVs have gone down. Oliveira with the kill move here.
Oh my god, you don't see it too often, but Oliveira is out multitasking ByuN right now. 39 workers go down. ByuN is going to be able to force this back. Oliveira even shakes his head a little bit there, but he probably just shakes his head because he wanted to end the game. He's still looking so good. Oh my god.
I feel like I saw a bit of a smug smile there, but
Yeah.
we do have both players are going to be on 2-2. Not really enough money here for ByuN to get that 3-3. Just needs to pump those units, but he is really all in this position now. He has lost way too much. He has to make something happen. Going to be going for one of those drops again, but I have to feel like Oliveira is going to know this is coming, and he's got a drop of his own.
It looked almost as if, like, Oliveira, he went and he looked and he saw that his Liberators were still killing more workers, and he smiled at how good he was doing. It's
He
like
does
he
like
impressed himself. Huh?
Who is it? Is it
Oh,
the
Keen?
Keen? You know the Keen?
Yeah, yeah,
Gives
the
himself a
Keen
little
clap.
clap. Yeah.
That's basically what just happened. Oh my god, the target firing
Wow.
is just too good. He gets the CC.
I did not think that would be going down, and we see that Oliveira fist bump. This is a man that loves some StarCraft.
GG, well played. Oliveira does take the first game, and things were quite close. Things were pretty back and forth, at least in the first kind of half of that game. But over time, we saw, I think that probably the biggest thing to take note of is that ByuN, it felt like he was lacking a little bit of confidence. It felt like there were a couple of moves where he was second guessing himself and he was hesitating with some of his drop play, with some of his counterattacks.
Yeah, TVT is a funny matchup in that way, where a lot of it can come down to confidence, and the player that has that momentum, has the initiative in the positions, can often get the upper hand. And it feels like ByuN's a player that usually plays with no fear and is the one that takes that initiative, but Oliveira is just looking so sharp and confident at the moment.
Yeah, he really is. Oh boy, and just like that, Oliveira is going to be able to take down ByuN, but ByuN is still a world-class player. He's not going to be going down without a fight. He has a chance to bring it all back here, and game 2 is going to be on Gressvan.
Oh, here we go. Gressvan is a map that we've had some pretty wonderful TBTs on. I do get the feeling, though, that ByuN might want to go for something like a 2-Rax Reaper. I'm feeling a bit of a skill check coming on.
Is it the wisest move? Was he watching yesterday? Did he see what happened when Reynor tried to skill check Leenock? You know, sometimes it's it's not the best move to go for. At the same time, especially after what happened in game 1, if I was ByuN, like it almost felt as if, you know, like a challenge was issued. Like, you know, like Oliveira's like, yo, you think you're Micro Jackson? Nah, mate, you're a pretender. Who are you? I should have the 10 in micro, not you. He's going for it, pup. You know what's gonna happen if he wins this 2-0? They're gonna adjust the scores, and then suddenly his micro's gonna go up.
He's gonna change his name to ByuN. He's like, I'm not Oliveira anymore. I'm ByuN. As here he is spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, the Chinese Terran, playing for KaiZi Gaming. It is Oliveira.
Oh, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Gressvan, representing Shopify Rebellion, it is ByuN. Oh boy, so pretty intense first game, and here in game number 2, I was on your side, Asher. I could see it before me, but maybe because of the lack of confidence that we saw in game 1, ByuN doesn't go for any proxy racks in game 2.
Yeah, no proxy racks, but he is going to be going for the fast expand once again. I mean, it really didn't go too badly for him in that last game. I don't really feel like the tank drop from Oliveira got him ahead. And if anything, he should have been a little bit behind on the tank count. So I don't mind. Well, I can understand why ByuN will want to go for this again. I think it worked out pretty well for him, and he can just make some adjustments in the mid game.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it wasn't the early game where ByuN was falling behind necessarily. You know, it was later on when things were getting a little bit more chaotic with the mass drop play. So yeah, ByuN, I do think this makes plenty of sense, and we'll see how he does end up adjusting as time goes on. We'll see if he can wake up.
Yeah, exactly. But Oliveira maybe kind of putting together what's going on here, possibly predicting what ByuN will be doing. He's gone for a reactor first here, so he's going to be going very heavily into some Reaper Hellion aggression, most likely.
Yeah. So really interesting here. Obviously, he's going to be prioritizing his units overall, and we'll see if he can maybe punish ByuN. That's kind of what you were talking about in game number 1. Usually, you want to try and do something to make up for your economic deficits, and I think it's really smart for Oliveira to switch things up compared to what he tried to do in that first game.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, this could be the build that Mari played against him in game 1 of their series, where he went for, I believe it was 4 Reapers and 2 Hellions, followed up by a tank drop. I could see that being very strong against what ByuN is doing here.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes to fruition. Oh,
ByuN doing something kind of interesting here, throwing down a very early second rack, so we might be getting a little bit of a trademark ByuN 2-on-1.
yeah. You don't see it too often here in TVT, but whenever you do see it, typically it is ByuN who does whip it out. He does do it whenever he can in whatever matchup there is. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how these builds are going to match up, because we should be seeing mass Marines out of ByuN. If Oliveira can hit early enough with this drop, and it does look like he is going for that build of 4 Reapers, 2 Hellions into the tank drop. If he can hit early enough with this, he should be able to start kiting with the Reapers and the Hellions, take out all these Marines, and even if he doesn't kill ByuN, he's going to take away ByuN's timing.
Yeah, exactly. Like ByuN losing too many Marines early on is just going to shut down any kind of medevac drop or any kind of stim timing that he wants to go for. Meanwhile, the Cyclone has been spotted already, a decent amount of damage being done to that Hellion, and Oliveira hasn't tried to go into the main yet. He does back off.
Yeah, interesting here for Oliveira as well. He doesn't see the natural just because ByuN made it in his main. So nice little mind game coming out from ByuN. So if Oliveira is not aware this is a fast expand, he might play this a bit too safely.
Yeah, exactly. So he turns around, he goes back home. I mean, he has his own third CC on the way, which he starts immediately. So he will be able to maintain his economic advantage. But for the time being, I feel like he's a little bit in the dark when it comes to what ByuN has been up to.
Yeah, he actually goes for a very fast third CC, threw that down almost at
Yeah.
4 minutes. It's something he's been doing quite a lot lately, and he's going to be skipping that drop and going faster into those add-ons with the Ravens, with probably some tanks as well. It does feel like he might have misread this slightly, but I think he's going to be pretty well set up to defend.
I hope so. I hope that's the case because the first two medevacs are on the way for ByuN. That marine count has been banked up, and Oliveira, he needs to catch wind of what's happening because if he doesn't, then he may be caught with his pants down, may not be in position to receive ByuN's drop.
Yeah, and here it comes. Pretty early drop as well. This is definitely on the faster side when it comes to TVT. Oliveira does have these Reapers set up for a counter attack, so if ByuN doesn't have anything in position, they could get quite a bit of damage if he just sends those in as soon as he sees a 2-on-1, but instead going to be pulling back, and it feels like he hasn't quite put together what's going on here.
Yeah, is it over before it began? The drop is on the way, making a beeline for the main base of Oliveira. He is not in position. He's at his natural. And even if he was, I don't know if he has enough to deal with this as ByuN is coming in.
Yeah, I love this as well. ByuN clearing out the map vision at the front of the map first, just to have a bit of a diversion, and Oliveira definitely was not prepared for it. There we go. The Reapers are going to be going in, trying to get a little bit of counter damage. This tank is very well positioned. ByuN takes some massive shots on those Marines, and with that, he is deflected.
Oh, the repair puppy, the repair stim is on fire. At the same time, the Reapers across the map were able to deal equalizing damage. ByuN losing 7 SCVs, Oliveira losing 6. He does catch eyes on that tech lab. He is able to keep it alive. And yeah, I wasn't looking at the time, but I guess Oliveira just happened. He either had already a tank in his main base or it just happened to come out of the factory at the time.
Yeah, so he's going to be in position to defend this. And as the observer's pointing out there, ByuN, he's stopped building his third. He hasn't noticed. He really seems quite stressed out in this game.
He's not looking, puppy. He's not looking. And how long is it going to take? There we go. You can see it. ByuN finally gets eyes on that third CC timing, and it is so late.
Yeah, ByuN pretty well known for being quite an emotional player, and I feel like sometimes if he does have a bit of a rough first game, it can result in some uncharacteristic mistakes in the next, and yeah, that is going to be pretty problematic. On the other hand, because of the build that he's gone for, Oliveira can't really take his third just yet. He just needs to set it up in his main for a while and wait to secure, a little bit of a larger army to be able to do that. So he is doing the right thing by not going out to land it, but that should help equalize things.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, again, ByuN, he has the Marine advantage right now. He's had it for the entire game and he's not looking to let it go. Oliveira, he can make up for that deficit. Obviously, he's got those Ravens. He has anti-armor missile or disables if he needs them. He can definitely break out, but he's just waiting a little bit longer, waiting for another wave of Marines.
Yes, it's very interesting play coming out from ByuN as well. Not going to go for mass Marines, actually going for a very fast second factory. So maybe feeling that he might have the potential to get some momentum going here.
Yeah, and I love this from ByuN as well. He spots that Oliveira is in the midst of moving out, so he respects that. He will back off for a moment. Just going to re-siege his tanks as, I think he may have lost one of them there.
Yeah, we are in a little bit of a dangerous spot, but this is where ByuN likes to be. He is the one in the driver's seat. He is the one in command. The tanks are going to be taken out here, but the timing is perfect for ByuN because he's going straight into the main.
Oh, he does drop straight into the main base. We do have a couple of tanks that were left, though, and as a result, the friendly fire not quite there. Only 2 SCVs of Oliveira goes down, and he's able to deflect this.
Yeah, but Oliveira, he's got enough energy for matrixes. We might be losing one of these medevacs here for ByuN.
Yeah, it's going to be close. ByuN is trying to get the hell out of there, but there are the matrices. There is no boost available, and both medevacs are going to go down, or at least one.
Yeah, that is rough here. Oliveira playing a fantastic defensive game. Just like we saw him in Katowice, just such a versatile player, and he's been able to adjust to the way that ByuN's playing really well.
Yeah, and I mean, ByuN, he's still going for a little bit of drop play. He still wants to try and pull back Oliveira. He's going to be jumping on this tank, but the reinforcements are here. Here comes a drop to defend as well. Can he at least get the tank? It looks like he barely will.
Yeah, he's going to get it, but the medevac goes down. Oliveira is just so sharp with his defense in this game. We just see a little bit of movement coming out as he notices a drop to
Oh!
ByuN. Wow, what a scam. Feels like Oliveira is just all over ByuN in this game, and it's got to be so frustrating to play against someone who's in this kind of form.
Oh my god, exactly. At a certain point after the third drop, Oliveira's like, mate, you're going again, aren't you? And ByuN, he gets caught with his pants down a little bit. At the same time, Oliveira moves out.
Yeah, ByuN picks up on this, so nicely done. And ByuN is actually going to be able to get a little bit of damage done here over at the third. The SCVs are going to have to be pulled, but I don't know if there's enough Marines to help with this. Pretty good fight for ByuN on the other side as well. So ByuN definitely hanging tough here.
Yeah, definitely. Oliveira was a little bit late to siege, so his tanks weren't really a part of that last engagement. But here we go. The Ravens once again reign supreme. We have the disables. ByuN, though, this time was able to unsiege just in time.
Yeah, nicely done there. Sharp on the unsiege. We'll be saving those tanks. But the Ravens here, they're just having so much utility for Oliveira, and he's able to keep them alive, able to keep them healthy. They're just going to continue to give him so much help in this game.
Yeah, and we can see ByuN is being forced back. At the same time, another double drop is being sent across the map. All ByuN needs is one of these counterattacks to snowball and get damage done, and it is so the potential is definitely there with these Marines.
Oh, yeah, Oliveira had a couple Vikings there, but he pulled them out of position just to help at the front there. So good timing from ByuN, just constant aggression. And as you're saying, all it really takes is one of these to kill off a mineral line, and he can get himself back into this game. I mean, as it stands, things are quite close between the two players.
Yeah, things are very close here. ByuN actually has a worker lead. He's already got his fourth base on the way, on location, being morphed into a planetary. So even though Oliveira has been trading better when it comes to the armies, ByuN, he has the better economy.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2-2, a little bit ahead for ByuN as well. The 2-2 of Oliveira should be finishing up just right about now. We do have a big attack going down at the third now for Oliveira. The Liberators and the Ravens are ready, so this could be breaking the lines of ByuN. A lot of Marines going down as well.
Oh, yeah. At the same time, we have a massive Marine run by. Boys are being pulled once again. A lot of workers are going to be going down for Oliveira, but at the same time, ByuN is also going to be losing quite a bit on the other side as he tries to break these libs.
Yeah, he has to go for the libs, and that means he's going to be losing so many of those Marines there. And there's a lot of different options here for Oliveira. He can start, bringing these tanks up, maybe dropping the main. If he has the Raven energy, he can start pushing into these tanks, and he is going to be able to deny the mining on this third base. So Oliveira slowly but surely pushing his way into a lead in this game.
Yeah, bearing in mind, though, that ByuN has a fourth, so he can just kind of re-rally his workers from his third over towards the northern portion of the map. At the same time, where are the Marines? They're not here!
Oh, the Marines are not there. The friendly fire on the tanks, they're all going to be destroying each other. Fantastic move from Oliveira to recognize the weakness. Even picks up a good amount of those Marines. Absolutely brilliant trade there.
Oh my god, and now we have the drop play across the map, but Oliveira was waiting for it this time. He saw it coming!
And Oliveira's anticipation has just been so good here. He is all over ByuN. We're going to be dropping into the main as well. We have the tank count. ByuN only with 2 tanks scrambling to get into position, but the Ravens have energy for that as well.
Yeah, the Ravens have energy. We still have disables, and there we go. Just like that, we have one disable. The Ravens of Oliveira finally go down after so long in this game, but at this point, it may just be too late. He sims on forward and takes down 2 more tanks.
Yeah, 2 more tanks go down. Even hop pick up on those Marines to get them back into the fight. A couple of these medevacs going to be going down, so a little bit of a mistake there for Oliveira, but this entrenched position, it's going to be so hard for ByuN to break without the tank count that he needs, and behind this, Oliveira should be able to get up into a fourth quite comfortably.
He should be able to. I mean, the fourth is already thrown down. He's now starting to saturate it. We do see Oliveira is forced out of the main base of ByuN. So ByuN isn't out of this yet. He still has a standing army. He can still go toe-to-toe. And as I say that, looks like he wants to try and break these tanks.
Yeah, ByuN going to be going for the big break, but Oliveira, he's coming in as well. He's got a good amount of supply coming in from the south here, but he is going to be pushed back. So these 2 Terrans neck and neck as ByuN is continuing to mine from that fourth, getting his next base up as well. And man, this map just cannot have a bad game.
It cannot, Poppy. That's his third, by the way, that he floated over towards the north to try and expand it a bit of a different direction. It is still actually on fire as we speak. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he's done trying to defend against all these drops. He's going for his own Doom drop.
Yeah, I mean, ByuN pretty out of position. Looks like the sensor tower has been taken out. This will be spotted, but the tanks, they are so far out of position. ByuN, he's not going to be able to get back there in time, and there's one tank here in the main to be able to help out. But if Oliveira can take out these factories, that's going to be a massive advantage that he has further into the game.
Yeah, there we go. One of those factories is going to be forced to be lifted up. At the same time, we do see ByuN going for another double drop across the map as well. Oliveira does have reinforcements staying at home. Oh no, he catches the medevacs!
Wow.
Oh.
He's sending those medevacs in towards the missile tower as well. Both medevacs are going to be going down. There's enough Marines here to clean up what Oliveira has, but man, ByuN is just being deflected everywhere he goes. He has to be wondering, how is Oliveira anticipating this so well? He's in the Matrix, puppy. He feels the numbers, the ones and zeros.
He can feel you, Papi. He's crazy. Oh my god. Just something about Oliveira here. He can just somehow hone in on your play style, on what you're trying to pull off here. And now the main base is under threat. ByuN, though, he actually has his liberators of his own. Can he break these tanks? Oh, no.
Yeah, his Marine's going to be jumping forward just to deny these liberators. Good splits coming out from Oliveira as well. So just trying to minimize how many Marines he lost. And yeah, he just cannot retake that main. Big fist pump from Oliveira. And he gets the win.
GG, well played. Oliveira with the 2-0 over ByuN. Game number 1, we could argue that ByuN, he was hesitating a little bit too much, but here in game number 2, there was no hesitation. ByuN was doing what he does best. He was going for the mass drop play. He was trying to pull Oliveira apart, but after a certain point, Oliveira was able to kind of like sync up with ByuN and recognize, just somehow recognize that the drop play wasn't stopping. He was able to anticipate almost every single time it went across the map after a certain point. Wow. GG.
Yeah. Brilliant TVT coming out from Oliveira. And it's so crazy to see how much of a different player he's become in the last 6 months. I mean, he's always been a very strong player, especially in TVT and TVZ. But just in the last, well, since IEM, really, I don't know if we just missed it before then, but it feels like he's just so confident against these top players now.
Yeah, I mean, we saw him doing really well in the ESL Open Cups. We were able to cast some of those. Like he would beat Dark in the finals, and then he won a couple of the ESL Open Cups. But we also kind of assumed that, like, oh, you know, this is leading up to IEM. Like, you know, I'm sure Dark and these other guys they're hiding their builds. They're kind of like waiting to really show off at the main event. But no, that's all they had to offer, and Oliveira was popping off, Poppy. So yeah, it's really insane to see him just consistently doing so well now against the best of the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that he said in his own interviews as well, that he feels like he's played out every situation so many times with the insane amount of practice that he's put in, that he just knows what's going to happen ahead of time, and it shows.
He is Neo, you know? He knows all and he sees all. And yeah, with that, he takes down ByuN at 2-0. He puts a nice point on the board for his team, for KaiZi Gaming. And now, Shopify Rebellion. Who are they going to field here? They've got a couple of players available to them. They've got Lambo, Scarlet, and Harstem.
Yeah, I mean, out of those players, I actually think Harstem might be the best pick to snipe out Oliveira. Harstem's a player who's been doing some pretty weird stuff in all matchups lately. I don't really know when it happened, but he's suddenly started going to Stargate in like a lot of different matchups and playing into heavy Phoenix into carrier sort of styles. And that's the kind of thing that can... I don't know a nice way to put this. It's the kind of thing that can kind of negate a skill difference.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, touching on what we were talking about earlier, what you brought up, right? How Oliveira, you know, he's so good right now just because of how much practice he's put in on the Korean ladder. not the European ladder, you know. So if Harstem is playing a unique style that is only akin to Harstem, then he can come to the table with something new, with something different, with something that maybe Oliveira hasn't gone up against before. He hasn't, gone in with like the 10, 15 different iterations of a build to know what is best to go up against it. So maybe he can catch Oliveira with his pants down.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing with it as well is, Scarlet historically hasn't had a good record against Oliveira at all, even before he transformed into Oliveira. Even his time, I think he's quite a bad matchup for her just because he's extremely crisp and aggressive. But for Lambo, it's a bit weird as well, just because I know Time actually did quite a lot of his TVZ practice with Lambo. I think he just practiced with everyone, but he mentioned Lambo in his interview. So unless Lambo's been, secretly hiding a big weakness that Oliveira had, I definitely feel like Harstem is the one to snipe him.
Yeah, I agree. I think in general, Scarlet and Lambo, they don't have the most confident or the most powerful ZVTs available, and I think they're gonna have better chances against other players on KaiZi Gaming, like your Spirits or even Reynor as well, because Reynor, he himself admitted that ZVZ is his weakest matchup. So I do think that they're kind of hoping to go up against either of those, and I do think it would make sense here to rely on Harstem to try and bring down the world champion. But of course, that is our speculation. We'll see what Shopify decide here. Do you recall who the team captain is for Shopify? Who's going to be making those decisions?
I think it might be Harstem.
Okay. Oh,
actually, that seems a bit weird. Oh no, it's TLO, right?
True. Yeah. TLO is the team captain, the doctor himself. So we'll see what he's going to be able to cook up. I say TLO, but we did miss it. Kuro, I believe there was a Lambo interview at the start of the broadcast. So if Lambo interviewed, it's possible that he was the captain.
Actually, Lambo would make more sense. I forgot Harstem is their most recent join, so that probably wouldn't make the most sense.
I'm sure it's a joint effort. I'm sure they're discussing it right now. How they want to approach this. Who has the best chance at sniping the world champ early on? Oh boy. Yeah, it's gonna be wild if no one can. If Oliveira literally drops 0 maps, it's gonna be crazy.
That'd be pretty high. I mean, I'm gonna have a little look back. I think so. Shopify and KaiZi, they did play, of course, in the regular season, and Shopify actually won that one 4-2. So I just want to see if I can find. Okay, here's some matchups. Oliveira and Harstem went 1-1.
Oh, there you go. Man, you see, you even got some data backing you up as well. Yeah. So, yeah,
it is. First blood.
Oh, he's got it, mate. He's got it. He drew first blood. Oh, and they haven't changed his signature, by the way.
Still says time.
Still says time. Yep, still says time. And there he is, the captain himself, the man with the plan. The man who is looking to bring down the world champ. It is Harstem.
Maybe that's why I thought he was the captain. Because he's the captain. The Capitan.
He is a captain. Confirmed.
You see, he has 9 mindset as well.
Yeah.
He's a Protoss with over 8 mindset. It's possible.
It's possible all these numbers are not accurate. Oh my god. But yeah, Harstem, he does have quite a big mind, quite a big brain here. I'm sure he has been kind of going over his notes, going over his builds over the past 24 hours, as they have had some time to prepare for this matchup. And here we go. We are loading into our second matchup of this series.
KaiZi Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion. Game 2. Let's start the game.
Versus.
Oh my god. It's beautiful, Puffy. It's beautiful. It's hype. Let's go.
Let's go. So here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map for KaiZi Gaming. This is the Terran in the blue, the world champion himself, Oliveira.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales LE, we have his opponent, representing Shopify Rebellion, Harstem.
Now, having a little look back on those results, the map that Harstem won was Stargazers, which I think makes a little bit of sense as well. It's definitely a map that can be hard to play against a Protoss that's going for a style like Phoenix Colossus. Defensive styles do tend to be really strong on that map. I think this map in particular, it's going to be a lot harder to make that kind of style work. Because let's go the Observer with the logos.
Everyone take a shot. Roger. Oh my god. A massive shout out to, of course, all the sponsors that make this happen, hopefully for a second season as well, as we are nearing the end of the first. Yeah, I'm definitely with you with how this series is turning out here. Like Harstem, I was talking about it earlier, right? Like they have had some time to deliberate and kind of comb over some VODs, study Oliveira, and try and figure out what they can do against him. Do you feel like at some point in this best of two, are we going to see the Phoenix play? Are we going to see the double Stargate play from Harstem? It'll be crazy.
I think so. I mean, he's going to have to get there a little bit more slowly against Oliveira. Oliveira's been doing basically the same build every game in TVP, and it's a fast second racks, which means his stim is quite a bit faster than usual, and that can make it a bit difficult to go into Phoenix styles. I think it's possible we see Phoenix Colossus, but maybe going into the third a little bit more slowly, and yeah, definitely not a double Stargate.
Oh my god! I'm hoping. Okay, in my inner self, I'm hoping for it. Because I just want to see it work. Because last time we saw it, it fell on its face. If you remember.
Yeah.
We were like, "What's going on?" As Oliveira throws down a very fast third CC.
Yeah. Wow. This is a build that I know it's been a little bit more popular on ladder, but I can't really speak to how popular it's been in pro play. This usually leads into a 3-racks, and it is something that I believe ByuN was doing it a bit at Katowice. I haven't had a proper look at it, but with this build, you do still have the extra units of the 3-racks. You're a little bit vulnerable very early, but once the economy kicks in, it can be a very strong way to play, especially with Stargate. But Harstem going to be going for a Robo first.
Yeah, a robo opener from Harstem. So maybe recognizing the more aggressive tendencies of Oliveira with the faster sim timing, with the faster marines, and it's possible that he may be looking to go into a faster robotics bay. We shall see, as my eyes are glued to that production tab. Oliveira just ramping things up, even going for his earlier NG bay as well. Oh.
Yeah, I think a robo this early is usually going to be for a prism, so we might be having a bit of gateway aggression coming out, and against this, that's going to be quite hard to deal with.
Yeah, it definitely can be. For the time being, I think Harstem, he's making his second observer. We have a third Nexus being thrown down as well. Still kind of keeping an eye on what is going to be made from that prism. Sorry, from that robo.
Yeah, okay. This is a very interesting opener coming out. Early Sentry as well. This is something that Protosses have been playing around with a lot more. The Sentry builds faster, moves faster. There's a lot more opportunity to get scouts with hallucinations as well. We do see that Robo Bay going down, as you were saying, so we should have a Colossus in time for this delayed 3-racks timing.
Exactly. It can be a little bit risky, but especially because Harstem is working with very little units right now. Oh god! But the Colossi should come out in time, and the Observer is able to get into the main and scout, confirm that third CC timing of Oliveira.
Yeah, Harstem sees everything. He sees 3-raxes, he sees that CC timing and the factory timing. He knows exactly what he's up against, so he's going to be getting that Immortal out first just for a little bit of extra safety. And for Oliveira, it feels like he is going to be heading towards probably a bit more of a late game situation here.
Yeah. He wants to survive the early game, survive the mid game as well, get into his mass colossi, his mass robo units. We'll see if he can get there without losing too much, as Stim is about to finish up, and that marine count from Oliveira is getting quite high.
Yeah, so definitely going to be an interesting game here. I think for Oliveira, against a style like this, with the Robo first getting that Colossus out at a reasonably early time, the key here is just going to be dropping everywhere. I mean, the Twilight Council is only just starting up now. There's not going to be much anti-air. Blink is going to be a long, long way away. So he can really start to abuse this with drop play.
Exactly. That's why it's all going to come down to Harstem's vision on the map to be able to get into position in time. He does have a couple of observers set up, but he doesn't have a lot of units. So once the drop play comes out, he needs to make sure he's in the main or at his third or wherever Oliveira is going to be. Otherwise, Oliveira is going to be able to have a field day and just completely pick Harstem apart.
Yeah, it's a good point. We really don't have too much vision on the map at the moment. I'm not sure if he would be able to catch a move out if he needed to. I mean, this observer is in a pretty good spot. It's a reasonably predictable spot, but it looks like Oliveira hasn't spotted it out yet. And Harstem actually going to go for a little bit of a move out into the middle of the map. I like this a lot. The Colossus will be able to kite those Marines across the map. And yeah, it looks like Oliveira, he's going to be playing a bit more passively.
Yeah, he's just kind of chilling at home, slowly taking his third base. His army is finally moving up, but I believe Harstem was able to spot that with his observer. The Gateway Explosion is on the way for our Protoss player, and we'll see if he can keep up here. Yeah, the observer even spots the Medivacs as they move out as well, so Harstem should be able to keep up with Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, Oliveira at this point, he's just trying to get a little bit of map control, trying to scare the Protoss, keep them at home, and just keep them busy, really. It's, of course, something we usually see in the TVP where the Terran kind of has map control and shucks around, but never wants to fully take a fight, is just trying to slow down the Protoss.
Yeah, just trying to slow them down. Right now, just feigning aggression, as you were saying, just kind of poking and prodding. Hasn't really committed to anything yet. That's kind of what we're waiting for. We do see a scan, but alas, I believe the observer has since moved away from this position. So yeah, Harstem is still just sharking around, and his vision is getting better here. He's throwing down some spotter pylons here and there. He's even moving out with these adepts.
Yeah, this is a really interesting game because Harstem's kind of getting everything he wants. Oliveira's getting everything he wants. Both players are just going to be kind of sending it straight towards the late game, and it's going to be interesting to see how Oliveira wants to approach this. He is continuing to make tanks, so there is a possibility that he can go for a bit of a push once he gets up to the 5 or 6 tank mark.
Yeah, we'll see how he does maneuver with those tanks for the time being. There we go, he's moving out across time with everything he has. He does end up catching or coming across this army of Harstem.
Yeah, going to be breaking down these rocks, almost a little bit reminiscent of the game with Coffee. He's skipped the ghosts entirely and just gone for tank Viking bio, and this can be a good kind of ground pound force to help deal with the robo play if there's not too many zealots to support it.
Yeah, I mean, Charge only just now started, so Harstem is looking a little bit vulnerable right now. He doesn't have the biggest army to protect and support his Colossi, so this is kind of best case scenario for Oliveira. He does lose a Viking, but he is shelling away at that Nexus.
Yeah, it's interesting. It does feel like it's a very abusable style for Harstem, as long as... And Oliveira's done the right thing here by not rushing anything, not charging headlong into these Colossus and getting kited away. He's just really taking his time with this, but here we go. We have a massive concave coming out from Oliveira. He's going to be taking the fight right now. The Vikings putting down a lot of damage on the War Prism and the Colossus.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Already a decent chunk of the gateway units does get shaved off. The 4th base does go down for Harstem, and Oliveira, he is not stopping, by the way. He's continuing to push on forward.
Yeah, Oliveira smells blood. He has a lot of room to work with here to make up a big concave. More tanks being rallied in as well as those Vikings, and it's going to help him solidify the position, but looks like he doesn't like this angle, just going to be looking to get back out of the way and throwing down the Ghost Academy now. This is very late, of course, for this matchup, but seems like it's an adjustment that he's made to the way that Harstem's playing.
Definitely. And again, this makes a lot of sense, especially because Oliveira, he doesn't really know when Charge is done. Like, we can see that Charge is just now finishing, and maybe there would have been a bigger window where Oliveira could have done a little bit more damage, but he doesn't want to take that risk. He wants to back off, he wants to respect his opponent and make sure he has those EMPs.
Yeah, the EMP is going to be important. Harstem probably noticing as well that there's no ghosts in the army. He is starting to add on quite a few Archons. We do have that second Robo coming out as well, so he will be able to start pumping out Disruptors too. And Oliveira is still a long ways off an air transition, so that can be pretty annoying.
Oh, it really can be. Meanwhile, a lot of tank shots already going off on the army of Harstem. He's going to be committing into this fight. I don't know if now is really when he wants to go for this.
Yeah, I don't like this fight at all. This is a really nice setup for Oliveira, and all his tanks for siege. This is really just playing into his hands. This is exactly what Oliveira wanted. He wanted a fight with a big concave, and he shreds this army.
I'm shocked. GG gets called. That was not the fight for Harstem. Oliveira saw the army coming. He was pre-sieged, had a great concave, and just annihilates Harstem's army.
Wait, Harstem looking a little bit perplexed there. I don't know if this is just a style that's been working very well for him in practice, but I love the way that Oliveira approached this. He just skipped the ghosts, I think he even delayed 2-2 a little bit, just went for this huge amount of Marauder tank Viking, just a perfect army for what Harstem had, and honestly, made it look so straightforward.
It almost feels as if Harstem was expecting Oliveira to play a certain way, and when he didn't, Harstem was a little bit lost. he's like, what's going on right now? Like typically, you know, maybe you're a little bit more bio heavy. You should be dropping me. You should be in my face. That's not happening. Now I have this army. I should do something with it. Like, oh my god! And yeah, it was really odd to see, to be honest. Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I mean, TVP, it's really a matchup of timings, and it feels like Harstem, his timing was for Oliveira to go for the wrong timing.
Yeah,
and Oliveira didn't, and it just didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, it was crazy to see the dynamic between how Harstem was playing and what he was playing against. So GG gets called. Oliveira is able to take it. I mean, I understand the pressure put on Harstem as well because he had just lost his fourth base. He had to try and catch maybe he was hoping to catch Oliveira before the ghost came out. And to be fair, he did, but Oliveira didn't really need his ghost at the time.
Yeah. I mean, that tank position was really solid. The concave was perfect. I mean, he had all of his units in a straight line. That's the best that you can get as Terran. And it does feel like as well, that map is a map where it's going to be very hard to take a fight against Terran. I feel like as the Protoss, you want to be playing a style that's more defensive, more late game orientated. And I think we might see a bit more success out of Harstem if he's able to pick a map that's a bit more closed off now.
Yeah, potentially, especially because I think we both assumed that that's what Harstem was going to go for. I think we both just assumed that he's going fast Colossi, he's going to be getting a really solid army first, and he's going to be defending his bases, and he's going to be more defensive until he gets into the late game and maxes out, and he goes, Colossus Phoenix and gets into Sky Toss, for example. But yeah, that was never really on the table for Harstem. Maybe he wasn't really. Maybe he's not confident with the late game army against Oliveira, or maybe he just never intended for the game to go in that direction anyway. So yeah, I guess Harstem has a very different outlook on how he wants to play against Oliveira.
I mean, it does make it a bit harder as well when you lose your fourth.
Yeah,
True. I mean, I wonder what kind of map he's going to be picking out here. I wouldn't mind maybe. I feel like Ancient Cistern might be a good pick.
Oh, yeah, it could be a good pick. But he goes for the other extreme.
Yeah. So this is something that I feel like it's only been developing recently. People are starting to realize that neo-humanity is kind of insane for turtling. Whether that be mech or, a proto style that kind of turtles into a fast carrier or robo-based play. I think Harstem's going to have something nasty for this map.
We are here to bear witness as spawning in the top left-hand corner of neo-humanity, we have representing KaiZi Gaming, the Chinese Terran. It is Oliveira.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, our Dutch Protoss in the red playing for Shopify Rebellion. can he take out Oliveira? It is Harstem.
Before we get too ahead of ourselves, I do want to give a shout out to some lovely people in the chat. We apologize we couldn't do it at the time, but the games were intense. Things were getting crazy. Shout out to both Babylings and to Ugo as well. Thank you so much for the raids. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you both had amazing streams, and I hope you're both ready to settle in for some amazing StarCraft as we are here in World Team League in KaiZi versus Shopify.
Yeah, no Zergs just yet, but should be getting Lambo or Scarlet up after this one, so hold on for that. But until then, this should be a pretty interesting matchup between these two players. I think Harstem, going to be looking to break out some new styles. I mean, he's already been taken out. He just needs to try to take out Oliveira for his team. He needs to protect the Zergs from this turn.
He needs to protect their smile, Papi. He can't let them smudge any more than they are.
We don't want Scarlet to be putting her camera on cham mode, just completely blacked out.
She's gonna go full cham, Papi. Oh my god. Not like this, not like this. We'll see if he can do it. For those wondering and for those who aren't familiar with the format of WTL, these are best of 2s, not best of 3s. And it is also a bit of a pseudo all-kill format. Because Oliveira already took a game, Harstem is knocked out. But here in game number 2, Harstem has a chance to also drag Oliveira down with him and knock each other out if he can take this game.
Yeah, and already we have an interesting opening developing. Oliveira going for the high ground expand, something that we see players like ByuN, Maru, Bunny doing quite a lot as a little bit of a mind game when they're going for a single gas opening. And Harstem hasn't scouted this yet. So he's going to be a little bit in the dark as to what's going on here.
Yeah, he wasn't able to slip into the main base, and off of that lack of scouting, Harstem is also switching things up as opposed to the previous game where he went for a robo opener. We see Harstem doing what he does best and going for the Stargate.
Yeah, this Reaper, of course, is dead. Nice grenade, but not early enough. The Phoenix is, I think, what we're going to be seeing here. As I was saying, good turtle map. And yeah, looks like already Oliveira just going for the one mine, then throwing down the tech lab. So I think he's anticipating Stargate play after seeing those two adepts.
Yeah. I mean, he should be. I mean, as you were saying, you kind of called it coming into Neo-Humanity. It does make a lot of sense. But of course, Oliveira doesn't have the full picture yet. He doesn't know for certain, as the second Phoenix is already on the way. I hope we aren't going to be seeing Phoenix Colossus, but it's probably what Harstem's going to go for.
Yeah, probably. I mean, this is a fantastic map where there's just not that many angles to attack into. Most of them are up ramps or through chokes. So there we go. The mine is going to be getting a kill. I believe the probe actually saw that mine going down, but anyway, we do see that probe actually getting a scout as well. So the probe saw that finished CC. Harstem is going to know what he's up against here, which is nice.
Yeah. He's now fully aware of the timing of that CC. Meanwhile, Oliveira, he's just solidifying his position at his natural. He's actually going for a Liberator as well.
Oliveira's so smart, man. He's been able to put together that this is a Phoenix opener. I'm not really sure how, but he is going to be going for an early push across the map, a double Cyclone push with that early medevac as well. So skipping that Viking, going to be putting a lot of pressure on, and the Liberator should be dipping into the main as well. And that just makes it so hard for the Protoss player to decide what to do with their Phoenixes. It's a really good move here. Yeah,
but here we go. The Phoenixes, they come on in. They do focus down at that Cyclone. Wood Mine shots are going to be going off, but I don't know if there are enough Marines here. It looks like there barely are to hold on to this position to keep the attention of Harstem at the natural while that Lib comes out.
Yeah, these Phoenix are pretty heavily bruised. They are going to be sent out to try to pick up some reinforcements. We do have that Cyclone coming in after this. Is that the Liberator is going to be sniped down, though. And no Phoenix taken out yet either. Really nice Phoenix micro from Harstem.
Yeah, beautifully done. He does save the weakened Phoenix. With the death of that Liberator, this push is shut down. Oliveira is forced back, and Harstem is able to hold on to his third.
Yeah, I mean, for the first time in this World Team League, Oliveira looking a little vulnerable here. Harstem's definitely gotten the best of this, and through some really tidy Phoenix micro as well, and he's just going to be able to continue to keep Oliveira on the back foot on his side of the map and go into whatever it is that he would like to do from here.
Yeah, the Phoenixes are even able to slip into the main base, get a scout off on the third CC timing, and even delay it as well. So Harstem should be feeling pretty comfortable overall, just with that map control, can saturate his third and comfortably get into
Give me
this game.
charge.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Charge on the way. So Harstem recognizing that this kind of push delays Stim by a lot, and it cuts into your Marine count by quite a lot, just because you're doing it off a 1-1-1 rather than 3-1-1. He's going to be able to go into a mass charge style, and he might just be able to overwhelm Oliveira.
Yeah, depending on the defensive position, depending on if Oliveira is able to catch wind of this, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Fourth Nexus is thrown down for Harstem just because he knows he has the freedom to do so. His economy is going to be getting out of control as well.
Yeah, there we go. We see that gateway explosion as well. So not going to be any Robo style or anything like that. That Robo extremely late. Pretty much just going to be for a War Prism there. We just see a nice pick off on the weakened Phoenix there for Oliveira, but it's so important for him that he works out whether this is going to be a Robo style or a Twilight style off the Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. And we'll see if he can ever find that out, if he goes for a scan or maybe a drop later on. Meanwhile, he's able to catch some of these Phoenixes, doesn't get a kill on any of them, but does deal some of that whole damage, does force Harstem back for the time being, as Harstem is taking up even further, throwing down a Templar Archives for Archons for potentially Storm.
Yeah, I mean, a Zealot Archon style here is just going to be really brutal to deal with. We see that Robo Bay going down as well. Feels like Harstem getting everything he wants here, and that third, it's so open. Those tanks are so exposed. I think a big Zealot Archon attack would be extremely difficult to deal with.
Oh, it really could, as Harstem flies a little bit too close to the sun, does take a Widowmine shot to the face, and we'll be losing another one of these Phoenixes. He has to be careful not to lose too many of them, because Phoenixes, they can still provide a lot of value, even though he's not making any more at this point. They are definitely shutting down drops, or definitely kind of forcing Oliveira to stay on his side of the map.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, for Oliveira, he's just so stunted in his growth here. The Starport only just, that's the second Starport going up now. +1 armor only just starting now. Looks like he hasn't quite got that second eBay going. So just because of how unsuccessful that first little push was, he's in a bit of a rough spot here.
Definitely. We'll see if Harstem even intends to take advantage of that, though, because he's got another Robo on the way as well. It looks like he wants to get into eventually Disruptor production. Like, he's looking to take up and move on even further into this game. I don't know if he really intends to hit that timing. His army is moving out on the map, though, and he is going to be coming across Oliveira.
Yeah, catches this drop out of position. That's really unfortunate for Oliveira. He needs every unit he can get. This bio, it's so important that it gets up to that critical mass. He does scout out that fourth as well, so he's going to know the kind of position he's in. And Harstem, he's happy with that damage so far. Just going to be backing out for now.
Yeah, like, especially after the first game, I'm pretty sure Harstem is really adverse to attacking. Like, he doesn't want to like throw anything away. You know, even if he has like a large army, you know, he's maybe even second guessing himself after that. So he's gonna be backing off and wants a more secure game with more Robo units, with more Colossi, with those disruptors, as he's just continuing to pump out 2 Colossi at a time.
Yeah, so it's going to be a big ground pound army. I really like the way Oliveira's setting up here. Some fantastic Sim City with those depots in the way and the tanks tucked in behind that. Yeah, that looks fantastic there. It's going to be quite hard for him to take a fourth, but I hope for Harstem that he's not going to be attacking into this third.
Yeah, and I don't think he will. I don't see much of a reason to attack into third, especially when Harstem is throwing down a second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon. He is transitioning into Skytoss. He's getting ready for the late game. The last thing you want to be doing is attacking before that happens and throwing away a little bit too much.
Yeah, we do see that mine going to be spotting out the Phoenix as well. The Phoenix catch that fourth getting into position, so Harstem knows exactly where he is in that game. We do see a third Stargate going down as well, so yeah, going to be that mass carrier transition. And Harstem, because of just how hard he shut down that first push, he's been able to get into every little tech that he wants. He's got his +1 air on the way. He's got a really nice defensive army as well, so despite how well Oliveira's set up, Harstem should be able to get into those carriers quite comfortably, and that's going to be so tough to deal with.
Exactly. This is kind of what we expected to see from Harstem in game number 1. Of course, this time Harstem was able to get his 4th base up uninterrupted, and now he does have the late game on the way. Before that happens, he's just going to be clearing out all these rocks. He's just going to be solidifying his position, getting all the map control, and just getting as comfortable as possible. He even has a 2nd cyber core on the way for those double upgrades. Before that happens, he's going to be threatening a little bit here. Oh, that scan is going to be taking down that observer.
Yeah, there we go. So the observer going to be going down. We do have Harstem just sharking around. I do feel like he wants to possibly get rid of a little bit of this army, but I'm not really sure what we get rid of here. I guess the zealots.
Yeah, he doesn't even have that many zealots though, right? Like,
Yeah.
he has a very gas-intensive army, so he has to be very careful with what he chooses to throw away, whether it's the phoenixes or maybe the
Probably the
stalkers.
phoenix, right?
Yeah. Would make the most sense.
Okay. Just kills his own zealots. Brutal.
As he just clears up some of the supply himself. Oh my god, as he's looking to take this forward base. Really, when is the go time for Oliveira, if ever? Ideally, I'm sure he wants the Protoss to be pushing into him.
Yeah, I mean, Oliveira is getting his +1 air, plus 2/2, only just on the way now. The Prism is going to be taken out, but I don't think Harstem minds that too much. Harstem also going to be taking out these tanks. Kind of interesting. I feel like Oliveira is going to be wanting to get rid of those tanks as well to help deal with the carriers.
100%. Well, the thing is, I don't think he knows about the carriers. Like, the last scan across the map that we saw was at the 3rd base, and he saw that the robot was still making more units. It was, I think, a disruptor at the time. So Oliveira, the longer this goes on without him seeing, as all the phoenixes are killed, oh no, Smudge. Oh, it feels bad. They're meant to be your signature unit, papi. Don't kill them. But yeah, the longer this game goes on without him realizing, like, the kind of technological situation of Harstem, I feel like the worse this is for Oliveira.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Oliveira managed to get a scan down on the army. Harstem's just doing the best job that he can to hide what he's getting rid of, but there you go, the scanner is going to be catching the carriers. So Harstem didn't want to do anything obvious where he, threw Phoenix at time, but yeah, time realizes the carrier count, it's low, now is the time to go, and I think he is right on that one, because this army of Harstem, it's really not that big. He did go up to almost 90 workers.
Yeah, and he doesn't have that many disruptors either, so there's not too much stopping Oliveira from diving on this army. Oh my god, a little bit of miscontrol. One of those disruptors are going to be going down, and again, he only has 3.
Yeah, looks like he was a bit distracted by the nuke, so he will be losing this front base here. Harstem down to only 5 bases. One of these carriers going to be getting pushed back here, and there's a lot of confidence in this push from Oliveira. He is going to be taking down this base as well, and should be able to drop back to the north base if he's not cut off, but he's just too sharp, man.
Oh my god, Harstem's trying to catch him unawares, but as you said, Oliveira sees it coming. He sieges up in time, and just like that, Oliveira, he doesn't just get 1 Nexus, he gets 2. He's gonna get a 3rd. Oh my god.
I think at this point for Harstem, he's just gonna have to try to honestly lose all his probes and just replace them with carriers and go for an all-in.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, he has a bank available to him. This may not be looking too good. Oliveira has to get the hell out of here soon. Meanwhile, oh my god, the nuke!
Oh, the nuke! It's gonna land! Oh, the disruptor gets it just in time.
At a certain point, I was like, yo, where's the detection? Where's the detection? Thankfully, Harstem is able to deal with the ghost, but he just lost 3 bases, 41 workers, and Oliveira, he doesn't get caught out.
Goodness, 6,000 mineral trade for Oliveira there.
Yeah.
Not what you want to see as a Protoss, and he is just doing such a good job of just controlling the space, never really fighting the army, just zoning it out, making it awkward to fight for Harstem. And I really like the way that he's just kind of sharking back and forth. At this point, this is where it gets a little bit scary, because as we were saying, Harstem's not going to replace those probes. He has 39 probes. That's it. Everything is getting put into carriers, into the mothership, into those upgrades.
Yeah, it may be this moment where Oliveira's been dancing around the army for so long, he's been just out positioning Harstem, but once Harstem does move out, he's going to have a super maxed out army, and he can just go for 1 killing blow, the 1 punch to knock him out. Oh boy, so this is still looking very tense, very close.
Yeah, I mean, Oliveira here, he's only just getting that 2/2. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's the way to go. Okay.
Yeah, he's harnessing his inner Zerg. He's going for the Spore Forest or the Turret Forest here in the middle of the map. At the same time, we have another nuke, but unfortunately, the nukes are not going to be landing. Despite that, though, like you would have thought that Oliveira would force Harstem's hand, and when Harstem moves out across the map, he's just going to run into a wall of turrets.
Yeah, I really like this. I think with the new carriers, they're extremely hard to deal with this Terran. You need something that can deal with the interceptors while your Vikings try to snipe out the carriers. Just because Marines, they don't really behave like they used to. They don't sit back and kill the interceptors. They kind of just derp forward and eat splash. It's really annoying. So we're having to see Terrans trying to find new ways to deal with this.
And to be fair, we have seen some pretty sick hold position micro already in this game from Oliveira, so I'm sure he is up to the task, but it doesn't matter if you're up for it because there's still a large amount of carriers. There's a mothership as well, and with the power of that mothership, Harstem could bypass that turret forest. He could try and go for a mass recall, say, into the main.
Yeah, we got a pretty good amount of high Templars here as well, but Oliveira, just showing how versatile he is, so comfortable going into this late game, really just picked his timing to take out these bases, and from here, he's happy just to split the map and sit back. I mean, Harstem had a pretty decent bank at the end of that, but Harstem's on 39 probes. The longer Oliveira can put off taking this fight, the better it's going to be for him.
It really is. But before that happens, it looks like Harstem, he's looking for that fight. He wants to try and catch Oliveira without the support of those turrets. And there definitely is a weak point here on the left-hand side where the turrets haven't really been thrown down. There's only a handful of them sporadically on the map. And Oliveira actually going for a counterattack.
Yeah, I love this. Going to be sending all that bio across the map for the counterattack. Harstem, he is quick enough to get those units out of the way, but with a bit of hold position, we should be able to kill those interceptors. Oliveira, now is the time to go for this. Huge storm's going to be going down on the Vikings. Got to be really careful, but he drags the interceptors back into the turrets.
Yeah, the storm actually missed the Vikings in the end, so nice moves from Oliveira. He's able to avoid disaster, and meanwhile the planetary has been focused down, and Harstem is slowly trying to push forward.
Ooh. Yeah, Harstem running a little bit too far forward with that prism with the High Templars in it. A little bit lucky that Oliveira wasn't paying attention and sniped it out with those Vikings, but this becomes a pretty awkward situation where we don't really have the turrets on this left side to help deal with those interceptors. And the question is, how do you kill this army here as Oliveira?
Yeah, this is what I was worried about. Again, there was a massive hole in the defense of Oliveira. Harstem saw it. He went for it. He's able to bypass all these turrets and take great trades. He takes down a second CC. At the same time, though, Harstem did lose 2 of his own bases. So what you see is what you get, and Oliveira is coming back home with his bio army. Oh no!
Massive storms going down on the Vikings. That is a disaster. Every single Viking going to be going down to the storms. A lot of the carriers have been taken out, but there's not much left here for Oliveira, and he's losing his starports.
He is losing his starports. At the same time, do we have many storms left? He's actually, Harstem is warping in High Templar in the face of Oliveira right now. He needs these defensive storms. Without them, Oliveira, his production may just be a little bit too much. We do have a nuke to zone Harstem away.
Yeah, defensive nuke going to be coming down on his own depot and reactor, but we'll be able to zone out Harstem. Bit of a desperation move here as we do see the Zealot trying to work its way through the forest of turrets here, and it feels like Harstem has evened things up. Both players are completely broke. It's going to come down to the next few fights.
Yeah, I don't know about this move, though, from Harstem. He does get an overall decent connection here on the bio army of Oliveira, but GG gets called, and Oliveira takes the 2-0.
Yeah, he takes it down, but Harstem making things pretty close there. It was starting to look a bit scary. I was starting to smooch, puppy.
I could hear it. I could hear the smooch, but mate, you're casting the world champion. You got to have a little bit of faith, puppy. You got to believe.
Protoss, anything's possible.
It's
if I see a diamond Protoss coming up against Oliveira, I'm going to be crossing my fingers.
Oh my god. But GG, well played. Oliveira with great positional play there, forcing Harstem all in. And it was that scary moment where Harstem had a massive army. But at a certain point, he did run out of High Templar, he did run out of Storms, and even though Oliveira did throw away a lot of his Vikings, because of Oliveira's superior economy at the time, he was slowly rebuilding. It was Harstem who was on the timer. The onus was on Harstem to end the game there and then. not so much Oliveira. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, Oliveira managing to take out just enough of those carriers with the Vikings there before they got decimated by those storms. Maybe just a little bit distracted by his bio across the map trying to deal with the Zealots. But in the end, that does mean Harstem is taken out. So all that remains now for Oliveira is to take out some Zergs. And I'm a little bit worried for them here because I feel like that's the matchup where Oliveira has been looking the most confident. I mean, he put down Reynor in almost dominant fashion once he started that reverse sweep going.
Yeah. You know, Oliveira, his TVZ is terrifying, and he's taken down a ByuN in a TVT, he's taken down Harstem in a TVP, and now he just has to prove himself once again against the Zerg race, but only one of them, as Shopify Rebellion, they have a choice to make. They've got Lambo and they've got Scarlet. Which one of them is feeling the most confident right now to go up against the world champion, if any?
Yeah, I mean, I think either way, we're going to be seeing a bit of a Lambo strat coming out. Lambo, a very intelligent player when it comes to picking out the builds. And I'm sure after all the practice and study he's done with Oliveira, he should have in mind at least a weakness that he thinks he can exploit. So we might be seeing a funky build.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm sure Lambo has a good sense of maybe what Oliveira is the weakest at. You know, maybe his what he's struggling with a little bit. But when I say that, the caveat is that I'm sure even if he's, you know, weak against something or he isn't as confident against something, he's still damn good. So yeah, we'll see what Lambo can come up with and whether he's the one to execute it or maybe he's going to be coaching Scarlet and kind of talking her through the process as she goes up against Oliveira instead. It looks like the team, they're deliberating right now. They're having a bit of a meeting.
I don't see Scarlet. I see Lambo warming up his wrists.
Yeah, you can see him warming up, mate. He is getting ready to go in. That could be a sign that Lambo is stepping into the ring against Oliveira.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing as well is what makes Oliveira so hard to plan for here is all the styles that he's been playing in every matchup have just been very kind of well-rounded and versatile styles where he can make these small adjustments based on what his opponent's playing, but he's not really relying on any tricks and there's no glaring weaknesses really.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the things that we were talking about so much when it comes to his IEM run, is that he wasn't relying on these gimmicky builds or maybe like abusing certain aspects of the new maps or the new patch or anything like that. He was just playing some solid StarCraft. And that's maybe one of the more admirable things about him, you know. Things that, you know, you can really get behind that sort of play style. Asher, maybe
You let his opponents play StarCraft.
He did, Poppy. Everyone got what they wanted. Kind of. Oh boy. So yeah, we'll see how this all goes. Shopify Rebellion, they're up against the wall right now. As a reminder, they have one player left to field, and then they will have a revive afterwards if things don't go their way. Double kill.
Double kill. That's a new one. I like it.
Reynor didn't get that.
No, he just had first blood still.
Yeah, shaking my head. But there we go. Oliveira with that lovely crown is going to be going up against the 69 himself.
Oh. And there we go. Lambo with the offense, with the strategy. I could agree with that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. You could argue maybe even a 10 in strategy, to be fair. You could give him a little bit of a bonus there. But yeah, Lambo is going to be the Zerg player of choice. Scarlet, maybe even sleeping in a little bit. I don't know if she's available today. We could still see her later on, because I think the revive isn't. I don't know if it's limited to only the players that have competed in the night.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but first off, we're going to be having altitude, so pretty good that they saved the Zerg for altitude. I have to think that must have been how they planned to do it, and now that kind of changes things. I feel like Lambo doesn't have to do anything too crazy on altitude. He can just play out a standard macro game, try to go up to that 90 drone count, and just overwhelm.
Yeah, is that going to be enough to bring down Oliveira? Because despite that, we have seen him take games on altitude. We have seen him excel and fight back against the map. So we'll see. We'll see if the rest of KaiZi even have to play tonight.
Yeah, is Oliveira going to be able to get that clean sweep? Oh, here we go.
Oh, an all kill in the playoffs is not something that we really expect to be seeing, but that may just be what we're about to witness.
KaiZi Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion. Game 3. Let's get the show on the road.
Every time. It's great.
Shopify Rebellion.
It's fine. It's beautiful, okay?
Oh,
It's all that I'm going to be thinking of whenever I see that name now. The team
yeah.
name. Yeah.
Let's get this show on the road.
Vámonos, papi, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude LE, representing KaiZi Gaming. It's the world champ himself. It is Oliveira.
And in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, last remaining player of the Shopify Rebellion before they go to that revive. This is Lambo.
Oh boy, can anyone take a game? That is all we need. That is all we are looking for. Oh, and Altitude, as you were saying, is maybe best case scenario for Lambo.
Yeah, and I mean, starting off things, Oliveira looks like he's feeling very confident. This is a kind of map where, as the Terran, I mean, we saw it yesterday with Spirit, I'd be wanting to go like CC first, maybe CC first, 3CC, take some big risks to try to get myself into the game on such a large map. But, you know, Oliveira, he's got the mindset of the strong. He doesn't need to do anything weird just because it's a big map. He believes in himself.
Yeah, you know, Oliveira may even be looking to make his own like spiritual sequel to The Art of the Mind of XY. It is possible. It is possible. The mind of the average man is superior. Apparently, you know, you just a fan of the game, just a fan of StarCraft. It's too good.
Drew just loves the game. As we are going to be seeing standard builds coming out from both players, hatch gas pool from Lambo. So, yeah, I feel like Lambo's probably going to play this out in a bit more of a normal way.
Oh.
I'm kind of wondering if Oliveira is going to be maybe breaking out some mech here.
Yeah, I don't want to see it, but but it is possible. It's not a bad map for mech. So we'll see what Oliveira has planned here on Altitude. As we did have a quick pass by of the. Oh, there it is again.
Oh, we're back.
We're back, papi. Hodja.
Hodja.
I missed the
One more
ads.
time.
You know. Do you? I missed the cat ads. The cat like
True. The Wildcat.
Yeah, we haven't had it in a while. Oh. We need you to like film your own variant with Rufus. Rufio needs an ad.
True. I mean, can they even do the WoW ads anymore? Wasn't that like a NetEase thing?
Yeah, smudge. we don't need to talk about it.
okay. As Lambo gonna be brave. Take notes, Slight. Puts that creep tumor nice and deep because the Reaper's damaged.
Oh, true. You know, he's crazy, Poppy. No fear. And Oliveira isn't able to punish the Lambo. Just, you know, getting comfortable in his side, spreading that creep, bullying that Reaper back. As Oliveira is going for his 1-1-1 opener, 3CC.
Yeah. So Oliveira going to be doing things pretty standardly. Looks like it's set up for, just a 3CC Banshee. So, you know, not afraid of the map at all.
Yeah, no fear, man. We'll see if he has something to fear. That's the question. So to kind of bring things around and why we're kind of Why we're kind of alluding to maybe Terran players having a harder time on this map is just because of how large it is, how big and open as well the center of the map is. So it can be really difficult to maintain control of the map and stop the Zerg player from just kind of spreading their creep all over the place and just getting oh so comfortable.
Yeah, and I was about to say, the way that he's made these extra Marines and the Viking really seems like Oliveira has been careful to deny it scouting, and we do see that fusion core going down.
Yeah, we saw the third gas being taken. Fusion core is going to be on the way. You may just get what you wanted, Asher. BC. And I can feel the mech, Papi. I can feel it. Oh.
It is interesting. I think this is a slightly later BC as we do see, a bit of body blocking coming out from the Hellions. Very cute. Going to be stopping that Link from getting the scout that it needs. And Lambo is still in the dark as to what this is. For him, it could be a Liberator here with the Viking. He just needs to put these pieces of the puzzle together as we see everything looking pretty standard on his side.
Yeah, and he's got a decent amount of Lings out on the map as well to try and get that scouting information. We do see him trying to slip into the main base. There is a Marine, but only a single Marine. Oh my god, he does deny the scout.
Yeah, he continues to deny the scout, and we haven't seen any spores go down for Lambo. I think where he puts the spores is going to be a pretty good indicator of what he thinks is going on. So I'm hoping we're going to get to see if he's put them down for a Liberator.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we have 3 spores on the way. With 3 spores, I think he does smell that something is a bit off. You typically don't invest that heavily if you think it is going to be a Liberator. So we'll see as additional factories are being thrown down. Once again, a Ling scout is denied.
Yeah, Oliveira doing a really good job of making sure there's always units there to cover that. As we do see a few little safety banelings being made here for Lambo, taking all these gases as well. So just going to be progressing into a normal game. And there we go. The 2 factories going to be going down for Oliveira. Mech it is.
Yeah, it is going to be that mech armory on the way as well. I mean, Lambo may already be familiar with how Oliveira plays on altitude just because they do practice together. The first BC does slip on in and isn't able to deal too much damage. The Queens are in position here at the 3rd.
Yeah, the Queen's going to be able to push this back. Oliveira doing a pretty great job of keeping that creep back. And there we go. The Spire is going to be going down in response to seeing those BC, seeing that BC.
Yeah, the Spire's on the way. The additional gases are being taken as well to get into that Corruptors. Meanwhile, massive supply blocks, 8 Overlords are being produced. Oh, not what you want to be seeing.
Yeah, it's BC hunting down those Overlords, hunting down that creep as well. Lambo really not able to spread his wings on this map here, and Oliveira is going to be going now into Blue Flame. Thinks for a second about going in going for Magfield, but that's a lot of Hellions.
Yeah, I was about to praise Oliveira for not throwing away his Hellions. You know, he didn't really commit to any kind of multi-prong harass when the BC showed up. He's been very conservative with these Hellions, and as a result, the Hellion count is pretty insane.
Yeah, it's going to get pretty scary because Lambo, he has been going for a little bit more of a greedy approach to dealing with this. It's something that you do want to cut as many corners as you can with mech. As we see, Oliveira diving straight in, but taking a lot of damage to these Queens.
Oh my god, Oliveira doesn't care, mate. He powers through all the banelings. Now the drones are left exposed. They're forced to he pulls the boys. Oh.
Yeah, 13 drones go down, so rough. Definitely rough. They are equal on workers now, which is not where you want to be as the Zerg. The Zerg really try to cut as many corners as they can to get to a nice high drone count before the mech player can put on any aggression. So this is not where you want to be.
It really isn't. I mean, this could have been a lot worse for Lambo. Like, he barely had enough links to kind of body block those Hellions and stop too much damage being done. So he's going to be able to recover from this position, but he's not going to be able to, stop droning when he wants to. He's going to be forced to stay on a bit of a lower econ a little bit longer as Oliveira is ramping things up, already working on Thors.
Yeah, so Oliveira going to be pumping out some Mines and Thors, just getting that anti-air going, just in case we have those muters. So just a couple of Thors for now. We do see, of course, that Yamato Tax going to be taking out a few of those Corruptors, and Lambo just trying to get some pressure on the other side of the map. Oliveira, though, not feeling in too much of a rush, interestingly.
Yeah, he's kind of chilling here. He's just cruising around, clearing up whatever creep he has or he sees or overlords as well. He's forcing a big commitment into these corruptors. And so far the corruptors haven't really been able to do too much. These BCs do have teleports available.
Lad, I have a confession. I was playing some mech this afternoon. I have
you're
an
an
account
animal.
just for playing mech.
What's wrong with you? See, this is why I don't
And I
play
feel
with
like an animal.
Every other night, Ash is like, play. Let me mech you, Poppy. Let me mech you.
Yeah. Oh, mech's pretty bad.
Doesn't need to be good. It is by default, Poppy. It's
Oh. Anyone
my
can play as that. Oh, Lambo's doing the map abuse. He's a cheater.
Oh my god, yeah, there we go. He's gonna be able to deny the rocks from forming under the tower. You love to see a little bit of a cheeky move there. For those wondering, because an Eva chamber was already built, it means when the tower falls down, no rubble is gonna be formed underneath it. So very nice moves there from Lambo.
Yeah. I wonder when they're going to fix that. Anyway.
I mean,
We do
is that intentional or not? I don't know.
Definitely seems like a bug, but Lambo here, he is gearing up with Ravages and Banes. I've always thought this is a fantastic way to deal with mech. Once you get up to that high economy, you can just crash in with Banes and Ravages over and over again, and they do tend to, despite not trading the best, if you whittle away enough at the economy and at the high-tech units of the Terran, they, after a point, just can't keep up.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a while before that happens just because Baneling speed just started. I don't think that's intentional. I think maybe it slipped past the mind of Lambo. So until Baneling speed kicks in, these Banelings are going to have a hard time really going for those run-bys. It means Oliveira is going to have that much more time to really solidify his position.
Yeah, and I mean, we do see Oliveira setting up those defenses, getting that Sim City going, and he is going to be spotting out all the Ravages and Banelings here. I'm sure he's, a little perplexed as to why the Banelings are just waddling along. It's kind of Lambo waving a blunt knife in his face, and Oliveira's kind of trying to piece it together, and he's like, maybe not even a blunt knife. He's mugging him with a fork, and Oliveira's just like, do I need to worry about this?
It's just, he's coming at him with a spoon, Bob. He's like, what
Gonna cut you
right now. Oh my god. So my heart breaks a little bit as we see these Banelings waddle around, but it's okay. Baneling speed is going to finish up in 10 seconds. So Lambo will be able to finally get into the swing of things and now threaten with harass. Oh, nice pickoffs here. Is able to get us around on some of these Cyclones.
Yeah, takes out quite a few units there. Behind this, going up to Hive, getting pathogen glands as well. So might be able to go into Neural behind that. That's going to help once the Thor count gets really high. But until then, just trying to get that map control.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, unfortunately, no Evo Chamber here on the left-hand side, so it's going to take a little bit longer for Lambo to expand and take this gold base. Meanwhile, Oliveira is now maxed out. He's looking to push out across the map. What's important is that this is before we have any Vipers. The Infestors are on the way. Oliveira, though, he still has to take this slow. He doesn't want to get surrounded.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he's going to be able to deny that base from being taken. And Lambo's in a bit of an awkward position here where he needs to trade out some of his army. But at the same time, Oliveira is starting to set up for a giant push. So Lambo kind of already needs his better army.
Yeah, he needs he needs to refine his army a little bit here, and we'll see if he's going to be able to do so, as he's just going to avoid the tanks, and he's just going for a massive round by here on the right-hand side.
Yeah, and I mean, this is what can make this map so difficult as the Terran player is. There's just so many paths and so many open spaces to cover. We do see Lambo going to be jumping on top of this with the Ravagers. Going to get some decent enough trades, but does lose quite a bit of supply and has a lot of supply tied up in these Corruptors.
Yeah, exactly, and they're not the most useful use of the supply. He's going to try and get on top of this production. We've got a couple of turrets here to defend. Meanwhile, Oliveira is not turning around. He is going to be laying siege upon this gold base.
Yeah, we're going to have to be pulling some SCVs here into the main to try to repair these factories, but I think they're going to be going down, at least two of them.
Oh yeah, the factories are going to be focused down. Meanwhile, at the same time, BCs go for a bit of a counterattack over on the left-hand side, going to be able to deny these fresh expansions. Meanwhile, Lambo coming in maybe a little bit prematurely. Oh, he's going to take a lot of tank shots to the face.
Yeah, and there we go. Two of those factories going to be going down. We do have them being replaced. 3-3 on the way for the mech player as well. Adrenal going to be finishing up for the Zerg, but he flies his Corruptors over the Thors there. And Lambo, what is he going to be replacing this army with? We see Corruptors, we see Ravagers and Banes. Okay, interesting. I don't think we have Vipers at the moment.
Yeah, 0 Vipers. I did see 3 Infestors in the production tab earlier, but that was a couple of minutes ago. I don't know what happened to them. We do see some decent trades here from Lambo. He's able to bile down 2 of these tanks, but I agree. I don't know if I'm the most convinced by this Lingbane Roach Ravager army.
Yeah, I mean, this is an army where you really prefer to have your opponent on the back foot. Oh, Lambo unfortunately missing the opportunity to bile those BCs there.
Oh my god, exactly. Very smart of Oliveira to find a little bit more damage. The biles are going to be missing as well. And oh my god, but at the same time, those infestors we were talking about earlier, they're coming in. They're available.
Yeah, they're coming in. Neural is available, but they're not going to get the chance. Lambo not really exactly sure where that tank line comes back to. Oliveira is going to be pushing through the center here, but it's a bit of an awkward push. I mean, there's so much map to cover here.
Yeah, and if he does commit to a push, then Lambo can just counterattack on the left-hand side, and it looks like that's exactly what he's setting himself up for. So we may end up trading a couple of bases for bases, as Hellions are going to go for a bit of run by. 5 drones are going to be going down. Not the most impactful thing, but yeah, Lambo is coming in, and there's only a planetary to defend.
Yeah, good connections for the Banes. Bile is going to be taking out the rest of the SCVs, so Planetary will be going down. But that is Oliveira's time to push in. Those Banes have been expended. He hasn't thrown down a scan yet, so he doesn't know about these Infestors. There we go. The scan goes down, so he will be able to see those. Yamato on those would be really nice.
Oh, yeah, he wants those Yamatos. He has to be careful because these BCs are weakened from earlier, and one of the BCs is already going to be going down, and there is that Neural on the Thors and the tanks.
Yeah, looks like those Infestors just out of range there, so going to be a good amount of friendly fire going down. Not quite enough, though, and Lambo's army suddenly not looking too scary. I think Oliveira with some tank Thor Liberator, Hellion reinforcements could be starting to break through here.
Oh my god, but the Lings are getting on top of the tanks! Oh my god, a great trade for Lambo. 5, 6, 7 tanks go down.
Yeah, just not enough Hellbat support there for Oliveira. And Oliveira, he needs to take a second to calm down, to reestablish his army. He needs to try to get back into this one. Behind this, Lambo going to be going for the Greater Spire, though. And those Broodlords, they're going to be tough to deal with.
Yeah, honestly, if it wasn't for those Ling reinforcements, and if Oliveira just had a little bit more to protect those tanks, I think maybe he would have been able to keep pushing, take down some more bases, and maybe even the game. But now things are a little bit more hazy. Things are a little bit more up in the air. He's forced to back off, and Lambo is given time to get into that Greater Spire.
Yeah, Oliveira is going to be trying to reestablish those bases here. Well-placed spine here, but Oliveira going to be targeting down a few of these drones. Lambo actually on a very low drone count here.
Yeah, he's been neglecting his re-droning a little bit, and that may come back to bite him because Lambo doesn't have a bank anymore. He doesn't have a lot of resources.
Yeah, this is very awkward. He doesn't have a bank. He doesn't really have the kind of drone count where he's going to be able to reestablish his bank anytime soon either. So this Greater Spire, I'm not really so sure about it anymore. I don't think he's going to be able to get into the kind of Broodlord count where he can actually make an impact here. And this Ravager Bane strategy, as much as he's been getting some good trades, without a high economy, you really can't make that work anymore.
Exactly. Like Lingbane Roach Ravager, it's all about trading and not the most efficient of trades. Meanwhile, no, the most important mining base for Lambo is going to be losing what little economy he has left.
Yeah, we can't be losing those workers here. We do have a scan going down. The Infestor's going to be sniped out by the tanks in the back line. They are bunched up a lot, but not going to matter if the Ravagers can't get to them.
Oh my god, exactly. It looks like a couple more of these Thors are going to be going down here. Nice trades for Lambo overall, but the hatchery goes down in the bottom right.
Yeah, hatchery going to be going down to those Hellbats. All the Thors have been taken out, so if Lambo can put together the money that he needs to make some Broodlords, he has reset that Thor count. And Oliveira, he's not remaking Thors, he's remaking tanks. There's definitely an opening here.
Definitely, Oliveira, he doesn't know about the switch. 3 Broodlords are being morphed in, and maybe 3 is all that Lambo needs right now. We're going to have a couple of Cyclones, so it's not like Oliveira isn't going to have any anti-air at all, but right now it is just kind of pure tank. Oh.
Yeah, maybe a bit of inexperience with the style for Oliveira here, but he just has a little bit too much when it comes to the tanks, and these tanks, they are all going to destroy each other when these Broodlords come out.
Yeah, exactly. We need some anti-air. Finally, the Broodlords have been spotted, but is it too late? The tanks immediately on siege.
Yeah, they unsiege and they go forward. Interesting. And he is going to catch these last few morphing Broodlords. If he can get on top of these Broodlords with the Cyclones, there's only 3 of them. It's going to take some fancy micro to get it done.
Yeah, he's doing it though. He's getting on top of these Broodlords. One of them is going to be going down, maybe a second as well, but in come the Neurals. Can Lambo hold? Oh.
Yeah, these are not good trades here for Oliveira. I mean, he does need to trade out these tanks eventually. We do see 4 Thors being made at a time. If they can get out onto the front lines, Oliveira is going to be able to get things back on track. And Lambo, he has no economy. He has 45 drones. He has no gas bank.
Yeah.
I think Oliveira has bought himself enough time here.
Exactly. Oliveira was able to trade out enough to the point where Lambo can't overwhelm. As I say that, Lambo is still threatening. That mining base of Oliveira on the left-hand side is not allowing Oliveira to get it up and running. But once that wave of Thors show up, I don't know if Lambo can really deal with it. It's going to come down to exactly how many Infestors he has left and if he can neural those Thors.
Yeah, I mean, Lambo, he just doesn't really have the money to get these Broodlords up into the kind of count where it can be scary for a Thor player here. So Oliveira, once these Thors hit the field, I think he's going to be feeling pretty confident to start making a push again, especially once he has his bases established.
Exactly.
Oh, great scan.
The scan, he confirms the base. The base, he confirms the Infestors and the positioning of the army as well. Oliveira is pushing on forward, is not going to let Lambo expand.
Yeah, Cyclones take out the hatchery. That's something that Light's seen before.
every night in my nightmares, Bobby. Oh. Oh god, and that Thor count I feel like is now at the place where it needs to be. Is Oliveira gonna move out though? That is the question. He is maxed.
That was a brutal side by side, just showing Oliveira's army, then showing Lambo's army, and I was like, oh, I know how this one ends.
Well, that's the thing though, right? Like Oliveira is maxed right now is when he needs to move out. The longer this goes on, you know, Lambo is going to have the opportunity to rebuild. He's been making non-stop Infestors, by the way. Whenever he has enough gas for it, he has been pumping them out.
Yeah, here we go. This does become fairly awkward. Oliveira needs to slow push ahead with those tanks so they can cover each other from the Infestors. Some of these Broodlords already going down to the Thors. There's just so many Thors here. Good scan going down. Big Fungals, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. The Biles are good too, but he's just losing so much every time he pushes forward.
Yeah, the reality is that Fungals tickle tanks. They tickle these mech units. They're not what we want to be seeing right now, but it is all that Lambo has to slow down his opponent. There are the Neurals. He does take control of some of these Thors.
Yeah, great trades coming down. Big connections with the Biles. Controls the Thors, takes out the tanks with those, but he has been pushed back against a wall here. How much Investor energy does he have left? Last few Lings going to be charging on in, and it does look like he's going to get the cleanup here.
Yeah, it looks like he barely has enough with the reinforcements. With that last final Fungal as well, he's going to be able to take down all of these Thors. Lambo, he survives.
Yeah, he survives, but there we go. That last Broodlord almost going down, and Lambo is battered and bruised. He's on 100 supply. He has no money at all. Oliveira is going to be able to reinforce. He's going to be able to max out on those Thors, on those Hellbats. That's all he needs here, and there's just no way for Lambo to get up enough material here to deal with this.
Yeah, it's been the story of this entire game. Lambo's economy has never really been anything to speak of. It's been okay at times, but because of it, he just can't keep up with the base count of Oliveira, with the production of Oliveira. We still have 2 Infestors, and there's always potential with that. Oh, he even goes for a bit of a Ling run by. Is going to catch some of these workers.
Yeah, good Ling run by, but he throws away some other Lings on the front. This base is established. Lambo GG's out, and Oliveira gets the win with the mech.
GG, well played. The mech on altitude is the way to go. Just like Spirit yesterday, Oliveira also whips it out, and he takes game 1.
Yeah, I think the story of that game there as well is the run bys, those Hellion run bys,
Yeah.
getting so many of those drones, even taking down quite a few bases there. So Oliveira playing that one out really well though.
There's 3 Hellbats and they killed a hatchery. It's crazy. It's
Beautiful.
insane.
Taking
It's
notes.
like, yeah, Oliveira's like, mate, you don't need Cyclones to snipe hatcheries. You just need 3 Hellbats, 3 thick boys. That's all you need.
Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
my
300
God.
minerals, hatcheries, 300 minerals seems fair.
True. Balance. Oh my God. But yeah, Oliveira was relentless with his counterattacks. And even though there was some moments where Lambo was also able to deny some CCs and he had some pretty good fights as well, it just was not enough to keep up with Oliveira. Notably, there was that moment when Ling reinforcements came in and Lambo was able to kill 6 to 7 tanks almost for free. That was a great moment there. Just wasn't enough.
Yeah, Lambo's trades were really good, but I mean, in the end, if you don't have the economy to fuel that kind of style that he was going for, even good trades are just not really going to be enough.
Exactly. There's only so much they can do for you. It was also a really rough transition attempt into Broodlords as well. It was a bit of a give and take, right? It was rough because he maybe prematurely made the Greater Spire when he couldn't afford Broodlords, but when he could afford the Broodlords, it was just pure tanks. So,
Yeah.
it was, yeah.
I mean, I think that just kind of shows that it wasn't the right move because he had the best case scenario and it didn't work out. But here we go in the top right hand corner of Ancient Cistern. It is the Terran in the blue. This is Oliveira. Oliveira.
Here we go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. Oh my God, as SCVs are active on the map, we have the German Zerg player representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Lambo.
Yeah, there we go. 3 SCVs going across the map. It is going to be a 3-rax. Lambo's going to spot it immediately. Has Oliveira found a way to lose the game?
Is this finally the moment that Lambo has been waiting for, that the world has been waiting for? Is Oliveira going to drop a map right now as the Overlord does come across those Raxes?
Yeah, there we go. We see it early enough that we can immediately pull some drones. Oliveira setting up for the 3-rax as well, right in front of that Overlord. Going to be throwing down gas behind it instead, so it looks like he's going to transition into a 2-rax, recognizing that he's in a bit of trouble here, but this is not it.
This is not a good start here for Oliveira. The boys have been pulled, and Lambo is looking to deny these Raxes. Looks like one of them will finish, but it looks like only one. We even see a pause from Lambo.
Oh, the BM pause.
He wants
But he was going to pause
settle
on
in.
pause when he killed the SCV.
He's gonna pause on pause and say out.
Yeah. Question mark?
Oh my God. So a little bit of latency issues hopefully gets cleared up, but this is not a good start for Oliveira. As you pointed out, he did immediately attempt to transition as soon as he recognized that he got scouted, but it's still a really rough position to be in.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, the best case scenario here for Oliveira is probably going to a super late game. I don't really see this working out, as we do see, Lambo going to be sending some of those drones back home as the Marines start to pop. Definitely a good decision there. Doesn't want to be losing too many of those for free, and we will have that Rax being finished off here.
Yeah, the Rax is going to be able to finish up. Marines are going to be able to come out. So Oliveira is going to be able to, again, muster a bit of a force. He's not really going to be able to threaten the natural too much. Like Lambo is free to just drone and expand to wherever he wants to go.
Yeah, I mean, for Oliveira here, there's no way that we're going to get bunkers up, so not really any point going for a push. He's just going to make whatever Marines he needs for safety, send them back home, and Lambo kind of calling the bluff here as well, is not going to be committing very heavily at all to defending this.
Did you see that? Oliveira, he's smurging. His cam just went black. He pulled the cham. That's why they turned the cams off.
He turned the lights off at the studio.
He turned the lights
I need
off.
this.
Ay, ay, ay. So the smudging is real. Meanwhile, Lambo, again, he's just chilling at home. He's just droning. He's not doing anything crazy. He's still being active with a handful of lings across the map, but we do have Marines, and the wall is a wall.
Yeah, Oliveira, very intelligent so far in the way that he's dealt with this. Just sends out one racks across the map to get that extra bit of scouting. Is going to be expanding on the high ground rather than on the low ground, as some people do tend to do out of proxy axes and get punished. The problem here for him really is that Lambo can basically do anything he wants here. I mean, a sharp attack could be pretty scary. Just droning up to 80, pretty scary too.
I agree. I think that's probably the best call here for Lambo, is to just be as greedy as possible and get away with as much as he can. I think that's going to be the most kind of solid way to take advantage of this situation. So we'll see if we see any signs of aggression, you know, early gases or early tech structures of any kind. It's going to be on Oliveira to try and come back, as, yeah, the camera, it's gone, papi.
Yeah, I mean, the supplier tells the story here that Rax is going to be going down. So Oliveira just on that 1-1 back at home, but everything is so delayed here. Third CC is going to be a pretty long way off as well.
Exactly. So it's not completely over here for Oliveira. It's just a lot of pressure on him to try and come back in some way, as we get another bit of a pause. Oh boy. Yeah, Lambo just having some connection issues.
Yeah, I mean, this can be the problem, of course, with that remote play. So yeah, it looks like yeah, he's going to turn the camera off. That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, it may just be, you know, a bit of a hiccup here and there. Hopefully it doesn't impact the game too much, and hopefully this doesn't impact Oliveira too much either. You know, like, we all know how frustrating it can be sometimes when you know you're like behind in a game and then you've got like your opponent pausing, and it's like
Yeah.
it can get to you. Yeah, but not to Oliveira, papi, not to Oliveira. You know, his mental's too good.
Yeah, I mean, Lambo wants to be the player to take out Oliveira. He is not going to leave it up to chance. He is taking this game very seriously despite the lead. So I like it. I respect it.
Yeah. I thought you were like, Oliveira. Lambo wants to be the one to beat Oliveira, so he needs to make sure the win is a win, and he's gonna pause as often as he can. He's gonna
He's got to let him know.
No, but again, I'm sure there's no malicious intent at all, just some unfortunate latency issues. And here we go. We are coming back in, and Oliveira's crazy.
Yeah, I think this is Hellbat drops.
Yeah, he's got a medevac on the way. That's what's crazy about it. He's just pumping out as many of these Hellions as possible, and he's trying to keep this hidden as well. Overlord is going to slip in for a bit of a scout. Lings have been spread out around the map as well. Has Lambo caught wind of this? Because if he drones too much, and if he doesn't have a standing Ling army, this can get scary.
Yeah, I mean, Lambo is going to take out the Vikings. This is extremely late as well, this Hellion drop.
Yeah.
It's a pretty standard continuation, of course, from 2 racks, but it is even going to be scouted by this Overlord. There just weren't any Marines in position, and he's going to be able to get this drop in here. We'll be able to get that morph, but I mean, this shouldn't be too difficult for Lambo to deal with.
Yeah, we've got Queens getting into position. We have Lings here already as well. We do have a second force of Hellions looking to threaten a push. He hasn't committed yet. The Hellbats are getting into the mineral line. They are threatening it at least.
Yeah, good patience coming out from Lambo, though. Just getting that damage on the medevac, not overcommitting at all. Ooh. We are going to be seeing Oliveira try to get an angle here on this third, but massive surround here for the Lings, and this might just be the end for Oliveira. GG is called. Yeah. Lambo takes the game.
Oh, GG. A really rough start from Oliveira. Oh, the stoic. As Lambo takes the game, he shuts down the cheese, shuts down the proxy, and he is the first player in World Team League to knock Oliveira out.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any way that you can salvage that situation when you get scouted that early. I respect the attempt for sure, but Lambo just much too sharp to give that one up.
Yeah. Oliveira, you know, just having a little bit too much fun. You know, he's been just winning all day today, and now he's like, you know what, I want to cheese. You know, I want to enjoy myself. And then this game happens, like, oh. I guess not. I guess not. Oh god. As a result, KaiZi, they have to field more than one player.
Yeah, so that means I'm guessing Reynor probably coming out, or they might just send Spirit, you know?
Yeah, Spirit and
Uh,
Reynor, they get to
mhm.
play.
I mean, with that, Lambo did lose that first game, of course. So the way that this format works, basically, Lambo, no, not Lambo, the Revive now has to win 3 games in a row.
Yes, yes. So we're in a situation where Shopify Rebellion are up against the wall. Lambo and Oliveira, they knocked each other out because it was a 1-1 score. And Shopify Rebellion, they have to revive. They've got options. They can revive Lambo, Harstem, or ByuN, as they did play earlier in this match. Meanwhile, as they have a revive and they have 1 life left, KaiZi still has the freedom to choose between Reynor and Spirit.
Yeah, I mean, whoever comes out, I'm guessing they're going to be playing against ByuN. So if I was them, probably Reynor, I reckon. We might be getting Reynor ByuN here, which is a really exciting matchup.
Yeah, definitely. I think ByuN makes it just makes sense as a revive option for Shopify. He is the ace player for their team. He is the most well-rounded player as well. So it would make sense to bring him back. Unfortunately, it is a little bit predictable, and in that sense, KaiZi can try and snipe him here and now.
Yeah, for sure. So there's options there. I mean, Reynor and ByuN, they've been going pretty back and forth. I think ByuN was starting to get the better of him towards the end of the last map pool, but on the new map pool, it's hard to say. I mean, Reynor was in some pretty good form at IEM. I'm sure he's still feeling very sharp in TVZ.
Yeah, I'm sure he is as well. At the same time, Spirit may just want to play some StarCraft. He's like, guys, let me in, Poppy, let me in. If Oliveira can beat ByuN, I can too. I can too.
He's like, I love StarCraft. I'm just a normal guy too.
Copium. Oh my god. So we'll see what KaiZi decided to bring to the table. On top of that, yeah, Oliveira, he put in a lot of good work as well. I'm sure he would have loved to have gotten an all kill. It would have been crazy if he was able to pull it off. And he got pretty close. He eliminated 3 very powerful players. So Oliveira, he's earned a little bit of rest.
Yeah, I think so. He's put in some good work there, almost getting the complete well, kind of getting the all kill, just not able to finish the job off there.
Yeah.
And in the end, it feels like, not that it was a build order loss, but there's definitely a bit of luck involved there.
Definitely. I mean, mate, you always go for the gamble, for the gamba, whenever you go for proxy raxes like that. So just unlucky and unfortunate situation for Oliveira. Not necessarily the game that I would have liked to have seen him go down in. Not the manner in which I would have liked to have seen it, but regardless, a win is a win. And Lambo, he has done his job for his team to take down the ace of KaiZi. Oh boy. But yeah, maybe we're just getting ahead of ourselves as well. Is there a world where they don't revive ByuN?
TLO.
TLO? Is he going to be coming out, Papi? Are we Gemini?
He's going to do if you want it done right, you've got to do it yourself. Wait, isn't Gemini onside?
Oh yeah, that's onside. It's the other one. Yeah. Fair enough. So the doctor, he could come in. You'd love to see it. It's been a while since I've seen Dr. Dario play some StarCraft. So right now the players are just deliberating amongst themselves. Oh boy.
Man, onside's next. We could be having TLO versus Gemini then.
True. Let's go. Oh my god. Gemini has been playing some StarCraft, He tweeted recently, I don't know if you saw his tweet. He was like, why is StarCraft a game where if you win like 3 games in a row, you have to make the decision to end then and there because you know that you're gonna smudge later if you lose games from there.
So relatable. I have so many sessions where I'm winning winning a few games in a row, and I'm just like, it's just not the same. It's not. It has to hurt a little bit, you know. It's the
You're
Terran
like,
way.
it's one of those things where you're winning some games and like you can't enjoy it because you know that it's not gonna last. you know that like it's gonna all come to an end soon, and you're already preparing your mental and your body for that.
You're like, I just want to savor this. Like, we can play some more tomorrow.
Oh my god, feels bad, man. Feels bad. Yeah, we'll get there eventually. For those wondering, after this series ends, we're going to be going on a break, and then when we come back, we will have on-site gaming versus the winner of KaiZi and Shopify. So, some really spicy matchups. Maru, Solar, and Neeb, as well as Ryung, are waiting. They're waiting in anticipation.
Yeah, we are really getting up into the business end of this playoffs. Onside, of course, the third place team in that regular season. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. I'm having a look at the standings as well here. It's kind of funny. DPG and Phoenix, Psystorm, both went 9-2. Onside went 10-1, but because of the way that the points worked out, Onside's third out of those three.
Yeah, it feels bad, man. They had the greater overall score, but they didn't have the greater map score in the end. Maybe just some 2-0s, some more 2-0s from DPG and Psystorm. Meanwhile, the player of choice has been decided, and Spirit is going to be staying back a little bit. KaiZi, go for Reynor. Oh my god!
Yeah, we're going to have Reynor and it's Lambo picked out.
What? Okay.
Yeah, I don't really see Lambo duoing Reynor, I've got to be honest.
Well, to be fair, I can see the logic. Yeah, this is EVZ. I can see the logic. You know, they're like they must be thinking Reynor's going to be coming out, right? We can snipe Reynor. We can ZVZ Reynor. You know, ZVZ is unwinnable, of course. So this makes sense, but it may be a little bit short-sighted because I don't know if Lambo can take it even further than that. But we'll see as we are going to be getting into our next matchup, a ZVZ.
KaiZi Gaming versus Shopify Rebellion. Game 4. Let's start the game.
Let's start the game.
All right, and here we go. It is the Lennox Slayer up in the top left-hand corner of the map. The Italian Stallion playing for KaiZi Gaming. This is Reynor.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, representing Shopify Rebellion, it is the brain of the Zerg Cabal himself. It is Lambo, the European hive mind. Oh.
Reynor's in a different house now.
Oh.
Or at least a different room.
He's in a different castle.
It was in like an attic with a skylight last time.
No, yeah,
this is
yeah.
so
100%,
different.
100%. Wait, do you think it's actually the same room, but we actually haven't seen his real background before? It's just a green screen.
Ah. He's being kept captive underground.
Ever since his loss at IEM, you know, he's actually in Oliveira's basement. He's
No. It's, you know, Harstem was talking to him before that last game. He said, you know, you got to take a dive here, mate, for the Zerg Cabal. Like, there's no other option. We have to sacrifice you. Someone has to go down with the wreckage. And he was like, we've already had so many go down with the wreckage. And Harstem's like, no. You too, mate. You too. And now they're hiding him. They don't want him to speak out. They've locked him up in the basement. They've got that green screen going as well. They're like, we are not letting our secret get out.
Everything is normal. Everything is fine. As Reynor actually is chained to his desk. Oh my god. But yeah, this is a matchup that I didn't expect to see. A ZVZ. And even though we like to meme a little bit that and I say meme, but Reynor self-admittedly has said himself that ZVZ is his weakest matchup, and it's the matchup that he struggles the most in. Despite that, he's still a damn good player, and he can still go toe-to-toe with the best of them, with Yona, with Serral, for example. So this isn't going to be a walk in the park for Lambo.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that makes this really difficult as well, Lambo self-admittedly has said he doesn't feel like he can keep up in terms of speed with some of the top players. It is just going to have to be a strategy matchup. I mean, Lambo, he did almost take out Serral in a best of 7, but ooh, interesting. Reynor going to be taking the forward third and an early Bane nest. Lambo sees that straight away, so he's going to have some idea that something aggressive is coming his way.
I'm a little bit shocked, not gonna lie, because Reynor, every single time I've seen him on Neo Humanity against Terrans and Protoss, he takes the forward base. But I haven't seen him ZVZ on this map, and regardless of the matchup, on this map, he just loves to take that forward third. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, Lambo immediately throws down a Bane nest right behind that, so he is making that hard read that aggression is coming his way. Could be interesting to see if Reynor maybe plays into that and doesn't really commit too hard here.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, regardless, it is going to be a better base to take it. It doesn't just have a forward position. It has that Rich Vespene Gas Geyser as well, as Reynor is making a wave of links and is going to be threatening the third base of Lambo.
Yeah, so here we go. Things are about to spice up here. We're going to have some Lingbane Wars coming out. Reynor actually throwing down a Roach Warren very quickly behind this. So droning, getting that Roach Warren, maybe wants to force a bit of an overcommitment to the defense for Lambo and then catch him with those Roaches.
Yeah, I love it. He's immediately going to be looking to saturate that Rich Vespene Gas Geyser. He's going to be getting into these Roaches very quickly, and this is going to be hit very hard as a result as well. So Lambo, can he be able to prepare in time? He's making his own wave of links.
Yeah, looks like Lambo getting the scout there is just going to be continuing to go Lingbane, and it's going to be Lambo that takes the mantle of the aggressor here.
Yeah, there we go. He wants to try and punish this forward base as best he can. No spine crawlers here. There are queens, there are lings, there are banelings. Roaches are already in production.
Yeah, there is a small window here before those Roaches are ready. Reynor trying to get those connections that he needs with the banelings. The drones are going to get intercepted by those lings. It's just too much here for Lambo.
Oh, there's too much, but the Roaches are coming out. The banelings, they connect, but with the Roaches, he's going to try and focus down these drones, but it looks like he can't really get them. He gets 6 in the end.
Yeah, so 6 drones going down, but I feel like that's not quite enough for Lambo here. Here's a Roach Warren going down behind this, but it is significantly later. Reynor going to be replacing those drones, sending these Roaches across the map to counterattack, and wow, Reynor really deflected this a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of banelings. The angle was looking really good from Lambo. It's just the Roaches came out just when they needed to. It was also lucky that they came out at the natural and not at the forward hatchery for Reynor as well. And now the Roaches are here so incredibly quickly. The banelings, they find some decent connections, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and Reynor's just going to be charging on in, trying to get a bit of drone damage here. The Roaches are starting to pop out for Lambo, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for Reynor here.
Yeah, exactly. He's slowly going to run out of steam, but he's focusing down so many of these drones. 6 workers are going to be going down behind this. Reynor, he is amassing a second wave.
Yeah, so there we go. 8 drones going down. There might be a knife, not quite. Lambo immediately starting up a lair as soon as he clears out those Roaches, so maybe you're looking to pull a bit of a fast one on Reynor here.
I think this is so smart, by the way. Reynor wasn't rallying across the map. He has been making nothing but lings and roaches, and he's been banking them at home, and Lambo doesn't see this. Lambo is droning, by the way. He thinks that the aggression has ended.
Wow, yeah, really clever coming out from Reynor. Just going to be showing a few of these Roaches at the front, doing a really good job trying to be vigilant and push back the vision here of Lambo as well. Maybe trying to throw him off as well, just with these lings running around and harassing. And yeah, Lambo, he has no idea.
Yeah, finally he's making 5 Roaches, but Reynor is up 30 supply right now. It's crazy.
This is a huge amount of Roaches.
Yeah, he's just been backing them up this entire time, and finally he shows his hand, and Lambo is being caught completely by surprise. He has a bit of a standing army here. He has some queens, he has some spine crawlers, but there is just so much Zerg from Reynor.
Yeah, absolutely. His last few bane's going to be coming in, but beautiful splits coming out from Reynor. Really good concave as well. The spine crawler is going to be putting in work, but there is just not enough here for Lambo. Everything coming in here from the north as well to intercept these drones. They have nowhere to go.
Oh, yeah, there is no escape. GG gets called, and Reynor, he does it for his team. He cleans things up. He gets to play some StarCraft, and KaiZi Gaming eliminate Shopify Rebellion.
GG. Reynor going to be taking that one down. Maybe in transit a little bit there. Probably probably not playing on the most comfortable setup if that's not his home there. Or maybe he wasn't yesterday. Hard to say, but with that KaiZi, I believe that's going to be them going through.
Yeah, that is it. KaiZi, they take down Shopify Rebellion. Shopify Rebellion, they put up a good fight. We had some really entertaining games. It wasn't, even though the scores may have been a little bit one-sided, things got really close. Lambo had a good showing on altitude against Oliveira. We saw a really dynamic TVT with ByuN, and we even saw Harstem get some limelight with his with his Skytoss army on Neo Humanity. So some really, really good games, really entertaining games. But the world champ is a world champ for a reason.
Yeah, there we go. Oliveira doing the heavy lifting there. Doesn't even really feel that much like he lost. He just kind of got a bit of bad luck there that he got immediately scattered with that 2-racks, and a bit of a risky style to go for anyway. Maybe just looking to clean things out with a quick win there. But in the end, Lambo getting the only win for Shopify. They unfortunately will be dropping out of the competition, and a huge match coming up. KaiZi versus Onside Gaming.
Oh my god, it just gets better and better, if at all possible. The world champ, he's gonna be having a couple of rematches. I mean, we'll see. You know, Spirit, maybe he wants to play the game as well, and it's possible that he's gonna be fielded first. But we're gonna be having, I believe, a winner's interview before we start our next series, before Onside goes up against KaiZi.
Yeah, there we go. And yeah, I have to agree. I think they might send Spirit out first for this next one as well. But it's going to be a tough match with the likes of Solar, Maru, Neeb, some of the top players in the world here that they're going up against. Should be a really fascinating matchup.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Meanwhile, as we get into this, massive shout out to Night Phoenix in the chat. Thank you so much, Papi. We were actually casting Night Phoenix the other day in the Ascension EU League a couple of days ago. Thank you so much. For those that are just tuning in, we just wrapped up with KaiZi versus Shopify Rebellion. Oh boy, definitely worth checking out. Some really good games there. The VODs, of course, are available.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I remember seeing a few Night Phoenix games as well. Strong Protoss player, right?
Yeah, Protoss.
Yeah, strong Protoss player.
Yeah, he likes his Phoenixes.
Oh, never mind.
Like, I don't like him anymore, Papi. I don't like him. Oh my god. So yeah, I believe they're just going to be setting things up. I know they had some technical issues earlier with the webcams for Oliveira, but I think they're probably going to be giving him an interview. And to be fair, they have a lot to say. They have a lot to ask, just because of how many games he had to play through and how many players he had to go through.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they love Oliveira. I'm sure they'll give him a bit more time.
Yeah, exactly. If there are any Chinese speakers in the chat, and if you want to maybe go for some live translations, we always appreciate it, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to have English translations to the interview. So a little bit smudge. We're going to try and get that sorted out for the VODs. But when it comes to the live event, we don't have that. We don't have that available.
Yeah, that's right. But meanwhile, before we get into that interview, Soundo with the 10 gifted subs. Thank you, Soundo. So many familiar names in there as well. We've got Thorn, ARJ, Skater. We've got Kuro in there, and Roselia, the Terran player, and Sushi in there as well.
Yo, owner of Alpha X gets the sub. Let's go. Atapia as well. Thank you so much.
Top, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sando, for the gifted subs, and I hope everyone who got them is able to enjoy them as well as the ship's landing.
Hello， 各位亲爱的观众朋友，欢迎来到
Oh my
赛后
God
采访环节，也是恭喜 KZG 战队再下一城，也是请到了我们的李培南接受采访，先跟大家打个招呼吧。
大家好，我是凯子战队的李培南。
那其实，在刚刚的这个打 ByuN 的那场 TPT 的比赛里面，其实第二把他用了一个非常快节奏的进攻方法，在不断的给你空投。其实前期是有占到你便宜的，但是中后期你的一个防守做得非常的漂亮。当时是怎么去调整自己的呢？
其实就是跟他打了很多把，他的 TPT 一直是这个风格。我当时死神火车过去看到没有那个 RGD， 又看到一个导弹车，我就知道他可能会用这个速两传兵的战术了，所以我前期应该还算防得不错。然后后边的话，我想着我慢慢打的话，我有2个渡鸦有优势，所以慢慢防守就好了，然后多造点防空。因为我之前跟他打，他基本上 TPT 打到中后期都是8个兵营补满，所以我就打他有耐心就好了。
确实，我们看得出你在防守方面就做得非常有耐心，最后也处理得很好。那打到这个 Lambo 选手的一个第一把，你选择了一个其实你不是经常打的机械化，是不是因为那张地图是一个重组的优势图，所以选择打机械化呢？
主要那张我平时跟他训练确实就被他赢得多一点，然后有点没信心，所以然后另一张图那张图是一张重组地图，我想着我生化可能没什么机会，然后就去试了试机械化，然后效果还不错。
鸟哥在后台评价说你的机械化打得像生化一样，对此你有什么看法吗？
我其实就是觉得我前面优势太大了，然后我就觉得他的经济应该一直挺紧的，所以我觉得我就一直 A 就好了，只要不犯什么太大的失误。然后其实要打得好一点的话，应该后边出鬼兵，但是我就是后边就觉得应该已经没什么问题了，所以打得比较快一点。另一个是我看到他一直没有出飞蛇，所以我后边也没有想法去转，我就想着一直机械化爆兵应该就能赢了。
是的，已经赢了。那最后一个问题就是你下一场要面对到的对手啊，其实这个欧气战队的很多选手都跟你有一些渊源，比如说马若在 IEM 刚刚输给过你，然后Nib他是 IEM 小组赛是赢过你，而且当时差点把你小组赛就淘汰出局。然后 Solar 的话其实是被你砸过核弹的，然后另外一位 Reynor 选手他是在亚特兰大的时候是淘汰了你。其实这4位选手跟你都有挺多的渊源的，你有准备好跟他们的对战吗？
说实话没太准备好，感觉上去应该是没了，就能打一把是一把吧。
你又不是黄旭东，你反奶是没有用的，你知道吗？
没有，主要确实是因为他们太强了。我其实练习还有天津的时候搜到Solar基本赢不了，然后打 Nib 的时候 IEM 也赢不了，然后打马入的话，感觉就是因为他决赛可能心态有点问题吧，然后感觉这回打他应该会很强，然后。样的话，我其实之前一直没有赢过他，所以说实话没什么太大信心。然后我可能早点输，早点上解说台吧。然后如果赢了的话，那可能是雷诺发挥好，一会儿上去就把他们 OQ， 我就可以下班了。毕竟我到现在还没吃饭。
这就是来自世界冠军的谦虚，建议孙一峰好好看，好好学。好的，那我们对牛牛哥哥的采访到这边就告一段落了，休息一下，马上回来。